A good karma brands radio station. 710 ESPN.
And yes, are we ready? Right now on 710, we're taking off with 9 hours of live and local LA Sports Talk.
The home of the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
We call it the LAX, LA Sports Mega Block. Of course, powered every day by LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, where change arrives daily. Let's get to it. Time to get in the air. We're taking off, LA.
You have clearance, Clarence.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Travis and Sliwa has clearance right now.
Yeah! Happy Friday to you, Slee. How you feeling? You watching 3-on-3 basketball?
Stop interrupting me. Like, here I am trying to watch a little bit of USA France 3-on-3, and all you're doing is yapping the entire time.
Very
Jesus.
odd. Like, I can't tell what's going on other than we're not very good at it.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can take away is that we lose.
We created a team yesterday. We created Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
We put Chet Holmgren on there.
And Jaylen Brown.
And Jalen.
Yeah.
Who's being that team?
I don't. But this isn't. They're not playing basketball. They're like running the 3-man weave. It's like the Globetrotters. This isn't basketball.
Okay, 3-on-3 is the greatest. If you said, Al, and I know this is different at this stage. If you said, Al, let's go play 5-on-5 or let's go play 3-on-3.
Yeah.
3-on-3 is the greatest form of basketball ever created. It is. It's
if
the
you're playing
greatest
in the
form
park
of basketball.
with your buddies, sure.
Or anything. It doesn't matter. Indoor, outdoor, referees. 3-on-3 is the greatest form of basketball ever created. You have to. You would excel in 3-on-3. Why? Because if you just said, guys, this is my 7-foot radius that I'm traveling.
Stay here.
You're fine.
Okay.
Like that actually can be used effectively.
Yeah.
Here's the only problem with the Olympics that's very confusing. They don't really stop playing.
No, there doesn't
So if
seem
a shot goes in, and I this is the first year they've done 3-on-3, so I'm kind of getting accustomed to it as well.
The free
A shot
throws
goes
underhand.
in.
He's a Barry. Of course it is. Yeah.
Did he just go underhand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a Barry. I'm not making it up. Like Rick Barry, of course, Hall of Famer, one of the greats in NBA history.
Oh, yeah, I remember them talking about when he was in college, he would do that too. Yeah,
Rick Barry was like a 92% career free throw shooter. He shot him underhand, and his kids, most of them at least, are like, "Nah, we're not doing that."
Well, it wasn't
what
just
if somebody
him.
sees?
I think it was
this guy's knocking him down. Though.
Was it Shaq? They were like at one point they were trying to get Shaq to do it.
Yeah,
so
not happening.
Shaq would hold it with his fingertips, though.
Shaq was like, okay, so if I told you I need you to throw a golf ball through an onion ring, it's kind of hard.
Ah, let's do it.
That's kind of what he was.
Right.
That's kind of what he was trying to do.
I love Shaq would always say, "Yeah, but when it counted, I made it." I'm like, Shaq, you're 4 for 12 from the line. Don't tell me that you hit one in the fourth quarter. What about the other 8 that you missed?
No, that was inaccurate. I don't know what this is. I'm enjoying the Olympics.
They just exclaimed. He just was like, "Yeah!" So did they just win? Who wins?
Yeah,
How
I
do
think
they
he
win?
did.
I don't
go to
know.
21.
Do we have more than one team?
No,
Where's Jim or Fredette?
I think you go to 21. I think
Oh,
he
they got 21. Then
I think he got benched.
Is there more than 3 guys on the 3-man basketball team?
Yeah.
Breaking
We
news.
have like a whole
I don't know if it's
second
more
loop.
than 4.
Breaking news. We'll have Nerf challenge next Olympics. A Nerf.
Who doesn't like Nerf basketball? I can
that's
dunk.
awesome. Yeah, exactly.
I can play above the rim. It's awesome.
Takes me back to my Kennedy Rec days.
It's awesome.
We used to play. We just let me throw the story in, and hopefully I'm not back in the day. Somebody doesn't get fired for this. We used to play basketball for like 2 hours, right in like the heart. We'd basically close the gym like at 3:30 in the middle of summer. We're like, yeah, we got basketball 3:30 to 5. All the kids, it's like, go play ping pong, go play pool. We'll get back to you when we have some time.
You guys get a little
I'd
run.
walk back in there, just my shirt drenched in El Cajon on a July basketball game, where there's the gym is as hot as can be, and then I'd work till 10 o'clock.
Hey, what do you got to do?
Shirt a little sweaty.
Get a little run in during the day. Why not? Why not?
When's the last time you played?
2009. No, I think I played 6-8 months ago, if that. No, probably closer to a year ago. It's not good, brother.
The last time I played was with Carlo at his bachelor party or bachelor events. That full day of they went to Top Golf first, then they rented some indoor court off.
That's
the
a good
freeway.
idea.
It was cool. Like the court has
all
gym.
sports.
Yeah, and then 5-on-5 and
5-on-5.
5-on-5. Full
Okay,
court.
does Carlo have as athletic friends as he is? Like
Yes.
he's a very athletic guy.
Yes.
Is all of his friends really athletic too?
Yes, they are. And one of
Okay,
his
but
cousins.
you could be an athlete.
Right.
Doesn't mean you can play basketball.
Correct.
How? This guy, correct?
Because I
Are you not a good basketball player?
I mean, I can, do my thing.
Yeah.
I was going to say something I shouldn't say on the air. I was going to call it a certain way of ball. But
No, it's one of my favorite things to watch is the guy that walks in and looks like an absolute athlete and is wearing all the proper gear. And he's got brand new Nikes on.
He plays a part. He looks like
the part.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you give him the ball. I'm like, just don't pass it to him anymore. Don't pass it to him.
So I bumped knees with one of his cousins. His cousin says, listen, we're going to take it easy. Some of us got kids. First play, 50-50 ball. He's sprinting. We're in the same team. He's going for the ball. I'm going for the ball. We clash, knees, hit each other. We're both on the ground.
That's the best. We're on the same team.
That's the best part of that story. You're on the same team, and he's taking you out along the way. Today's a good day if you are a fan of USC going to the Big Ten. It is official. USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, they are all now officially members of the Big Ten Conference. We're going to talk a lot of USC today. The athletic director of the University of Southern California, Jen Cohen, she will join us in about 9 minutes from right now. So we'll talk to her about making the move to the Big Ten, about what that means, the advantages, the challenges, expectations, all of that. So, of course, USC is a partner of ours now, Slee. We're going to have football. We're going to have men's basketball. Under 1 month. Women's basketball as well. She just hit her 1 month.
It's 1 month from SC starting. They got the LSU
game. 1 month, we'll have USC football on our airwaves.
Against LSU. They open up their season against LSU. So, and we're going to have Lindsay Gottlieb, the women's basketball coach. She's going to join us at 11:30. We'll move Fact to Cap to 11:45. So we got that covered. And we got Oral today too, Slee. We are loaded
jam-packed
with interviews, as we like to say. So Oral's going to join us in the 12 o'clock hour as well. So Perfect. It'll be good. Lindsay Gottlieb, my first ever interview as a member of the media where I wasn't producing, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it means you were behind the mic on air, and that was the first interview.
Yes, first one ever, and I could not have been more nervous. So I'm excited to remind. I'm sure Lindsay doesn't remember because she was the head coach at UCSB at the time.
Yep.
So I will bring it up to her again.
What if she says, of course I remember, that was
awful.
One of the best interviews I've ever had in my life. To this day.
She was really young when she was a very young head coach early in her career at Santa Barbara. She's been at Cal, now she's at SC. So we'll talk to Lindsay Gottlieb as well. So a lot of Trojan talk today. And like Em said, the college football season is this month, right? We still have a ways to go for the NFL. It's about 5 weeks before we get to the start of the NFL season, but the college season right around the corner.
Yeah, it's a time of the year where if you're a football fan, like everybody is, you can kind of see it on the horizon. It's coming. I mean, yesterday we had the Hall of Fame game, so that always gives you that first taste of, oh my gosh. It's
so funny.
I go to ESPN yesterday, and I don't know if you do this as well, but I don't even think anymore when I go to websites. If I type in Twitter, I don't even realize I typed it in. If I go to ESPN, I don't even realize I typed it in. I typed in ESPN for no reason, and there was an NFL score with the front page, and it's like, okay, we're here. Like we are. This is the closest that we've been to.
It's so funny. So
I'm here.
I agree with you. There's that moment where, because I still watch TV kind of old school, right? I flip channels and I go to where I want to go. I know exactly the numbers I want. I'm a DirecTV customer. 206. Okay, ESPN. You go up one, you see ESPN 2. You kind of, okay, I want to go to FS1, 219. Like you kind of bounce around where you want to be. I bounced around to ESPN and you see the Hall of Fame game. And the same thing, it's like, it's football season. And then you watch 4 seconds of it, like, no, it's not. You're watching guys like Brett Rippon out there who was on the Rams last year, like, no, we still got a ways to go.
Brett Rippon started for the Rams
and I know it played last night, played really well through 3 touchdown passes, but the uniforms are NFL, the broadcasters are NFL, and then you watch the play and you're like, here's NFL.
What it is. There's like a comfort level. So once the stores, all the department stores and everything else, they start putting up Christmas stuff. I know it's not Christmas, but I know Christmas is coming, right?
That's right.
It's like the Christmas music is in the background. All right, well, it's still November 27th. Why do we have? Well, because it's coming. So I think that's kind of what it is with the NFL. NFL.
But you have like 2 of these, right? You have the Hall of Fame game. Mm-hmm. That's like, okay, hey, it's here. You have your team's first preseason game. The Rams play a preseason game a week from Sunday. Their first preseason game is against Cowboys. It's a week from Sunday. And you're like, here we go.
Yeah.
You watch 2 minutes, you're like, no, we're not. And then you get the real one.
Listen to all the pregame and postgame from Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison, the fastest linebacker to ever play the game.
Yes, indeed. But then you get Sunday night in Detroit. You're like, that's it. That's the stuff.
It's like that meme from The Simpsons when the grandpa's walking into the room
and
then walks back.
Puts his hat on the thing, comes right back, grabs it off, walks right out the door.
I'm not telling you I watched it. I'm just telling you that it was on.
What'd you say, Em?
That's like if you want to watch it on mute in the background, just have it as a display in your home while you're doing other things. It does feel like you're in football season. It's
terribly comforting, or wonderfully comforting, I should say. It's just you hear you get Troy Aikman calling the game last night. It's like, yeah, it's football. And then Spur ripping.
That was Aikman's AI voice.
What'd you think of the kickoff rule?
He was not in the game at all.
Yeah, you're right.
It wasn't in his contract.
What'd you think? It was weird, but it was.
No, I thought it was fine.
Yeah,
I got to be honest with you. I think no matter what happened, anytime you make any change, people are going to have a strong opinion on it. For me, I think it was more simple. I just saw that there was action.
It was a play.
Yeah, it was a play. And by the way, do you know how many plays in the NFL are boring and nothing happens? It's a lot of those. There's a lot of handoffs up the middle of 1st and 10 where it goes for 1 yard.
Yeah, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, there you go. That's not uncommon, but I think if it did one thing as far as the kickoff rule, I watched it. There was, hey, there's a good chance a dude's going to get the ball. The defense is going to have to make a play. The offense is going to be blocking for him. It was a play. And I'm not telling you that was the most exciting play.
Yeah.
But it was a play.
It was a play where something can happen.
And I was just going to say, and there's going to be times where somebody returns it for 40 yards, or somebody goes down the sideline for a touchdown.
But I think a lot of people are, okay, this is going to be great. It might be, but if there's a touchdown, a kick return for a touchdown in every game, that's a bad rule.
Sure.
That's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for some version of 3-on-3 basketball where you create this goofy play. It needs to be a real play. I think it will be. I think you'll get more returns. You might get more touchdowns, but I think if you got one a weekend across the league, that's pretty good.
Sure.
That's way more than we've been getting lately.
I wonder why. I just thought about this. Why don't they use college football as more of a breeding ground for more rules like this? I know they use the XFL. Why wouldn't they have? I know they don't have any control about what the college football will do, but why doesn't college football have tried this kickoff rule too? Like, I would like to see it in college football before it goes to the NFL.
Much like baseball, I think football, the rules that trickle down. Other sports, they trickle up. This is one of the NFL does it, and it works. If this play works, you will see it in college football. It's like baseball. All of a sudden, there's a pitch clock here, and it works its way up. Other things work its way down. I think the NFL has to go first before, or you have one of these weirdo leagues like the XFL or whatever that's like, we just got to be different. And then it's like, oh, we'll take that, we'll take this. It doesn't work so much. They're going to try some stuff. I liked it. It wasn't particularly exciting last night, but that doesn't mean it won't be exciting later.
Again, like we said, it's an actual play.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of action. Not that we have to sit here and watch return after return.
All right. USC is an official member of the Big Ten Conference. That still feels amazing to say out loud, Slee. The athletic director at USC, Jen Cohen, she's going to join us coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
USC is officially in the Big Ten.
We celebrate all day long.
Really excited to see the new schools come into play at the Coliseum. Obviously, you're going to have Notre Dame to finish the season. That's always a special game. But seeing Nebraska showing up, Penn State showing up, LSU at the Collie, that's what I'm really looking forward to.
I think both programs, the men's football program and the men's basketball program, are moving in the right direction. And the women's basketball program at USC is going to be ranked top 5 next year. So it's a great time for the USC Trojans to be back on ESPN LA.
I'm really curious to see, what does USC football look like without Caleb Williams? What are the adjustments that Lincoln Riley makes? And what is the defense going to look like in the non-Alex Grinch era?
New conference, new quarterback, just really fired up on the football side. New head coach for basketball, so almost like a really new team, which is going to be awesome. And then returning to prominence for USC women's basketball, to be back to where USC women's basketball is. I'm super excited to see Juju in her second year, but just the rest of the players continue to grow. under Coach Gottlieb.
This beautiful thing has been up since the first time SC was here. But guess what? USC is back! And once again, this means something for us. Pumped for this season. USC Athletics back on 710 ESPN.
Now, you get an $88 drain cleaning, and they'll add in a free plumbing camera inspection. All you got to do is call NextGen. Call them at 833-3-NEXTGEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN. Or visit them online at nextgenaironplumbing.com to schedule your appointment today.
NEXGEN. Call 833-3-NEXTGEN. One of LA's best kept secrets in the heart of Los Angeles, East Central Hotel offers effortless accommodations and unparalleled accessibility. The East Central Hotel is for everyone looking for entertainment with their trendy, spacious rooms, a renovated gym, and a patio lounge for breakfast, dinner, and drinks. Stop by their incredible Nixo Lounge before your next event at LA Live. Book your stay at eastcentralhotel.com or call 213-748-1291 today at Entertainment's official address.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
USC is now officially part of the Big Ten. We celebrate all day long on a USC Big Ten Friday, right here on 710 ESPN.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
All right, so it is official. USC is a member of the Big Ten Conference, and of course, USC is a partner of ours here at ESPN 710 Football, men's and women's basketball. You're going to hear all of that right here on 710 ESPN. Jen Cohen, the athletic director at USC, joins us right now. Jen, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm doing great. So excited to be here with you guys. Really excited about our partnership, too.
Absolutely. We all are. Jen, let me ask you this. When you got into athletic administration, obviously the dream to become an athletic director one day, the dream to become an athletic director at a big school one day. What about being the athletic director at USC in the Big Ten? What about that? And in your wildest dreams, do you think you'd see something like that?
Absolutely not. It's really surreal, obviously, to be part of a university like USC, a school I've admired my whole life, almost 1 year in and still pinching myself. And then to be part of the Big Ten too, a very, very special, storied conference. And a school like USC, belongs in that conference. So really excited about the future.
Jen, before I get into the Big Ten, fellow Aztecs here. So I just got to point that one out here real quick. There you go. All right. Got to point that out.
I love it. Did we go to school? Are you younger than me?
I am younger, but we got Aztecs through and through. So they're all over Southern California. So I'm glad that you feel the same way that I do. But I wanted to ask you, what are you most excited about as far as being a part of the Big Ten? And I know we talk about football and we talk about basketball, but USC is so much more than just those two programs. So can you just talk a little bit about what you're most excited about being a part of that conference?
Yeah, first, let me just say how grateful I am to the leadership here at USC, President Foltz and our board of trustees and the staff here that had the vision, to make this change, a couple of years ago, because I'm most excited about the position that it gives USC, the Trojan family, and our student athletes on the national stage. We have big goals, as you know. This is an incredible university with great tradition and history, and we're just getting started on the high expectations that we have moving forward for our programs. And so to be part of a conference that has big goals and big dreams too, that can allow for us to have the resources, to compete. As you guys know, I mean, this thing is getting more competitive by the minute, right? And to deliver on our promise to be that unmatched top destination for our student athletes to achieve all their dreams and goals, you've got to have a high level of resources, and you got to have, massive exposure. And then I guess on top of it, the other thing I'm just super fired up about, and we'll see this in the Coliseum and in all of our venues this year, is just these new exciting rivalries that we're going to have here in LA and obviously on the road too. So much to be excited about and to build on, and just what a monumentous day for USC and USC athletics.
Jen Cohen, the athletic director at USC, joining us here on the Trav and Slee Show. And, you just mentioned it, Jen, that it's more competitive than it's ever been, that the high level of resources necessary to compete. And it has changed so dramatically in such a short period of time. Is NIL and your ability to collect NIL, raise NIL, distribute NIL, all these things, is that the number one driver of athletic success as the way it's set up right now?
I think there's a number of factors that are at play to be competitive. NIL is definitely one of the big drivers. So are, great people and a great culture and the development of young people. All that matters. Facilities, pretty much everything matters. But to your point, NIL is such a new thing for all of us and was an important change in college athletics to give students those rights. I really have believed that for a long time. Competitively, to be able to be like we are at USC, which we are the 1-2 punch for NIL because we have a robust donor collective that has grown massively over the last 12 months that is really helping us compete against the competition that we should be competing against. But at the same time, we're in one of the greatest markets, not just in the country, in the world, that, embraces sport and entertainment and values our student athletes, not just in our high exposure sports, but for all sports and for women. So we're really excited about what we're building with NIL and how that will evolve with the new model of revenue share. We're going to have to adjust to that too, right? And figure that out. And I can't imagine being at a better place to deliver those types of support and resources to our student athletes more so than USC.
Jennifer Cohen, who's the athletic director for USC, of course, USC officially part of the Big Ten. Jen, I'm curious, and this is going to be just more of a football question specifically. How important is it to you? How important is it to the university? I know this is a changing landscape. Every single day it feels a little bit different, but how important is it to keep that rivalry in football against Notre Dame?
Yeah, tradition will always be important to us. I think it's what separates USC from a lot of other programs. And USC Notre Dame is a storied rivalry, one that means so much to our fans, not just here, but to fans across the country. Ultimately, we're always going to do what's best for our student athletes. And you're right, things are changing, but tradition is part of doing what's best too. So we're going to do what we can to honor that and just evolve, in this space as we go.
Jen Cohen, the athletic director at SC, joining us here on Trav and Slee. How do you measure success? In the football program, outside the football program, is it wins? Is it graduation rates? Like what, as the athletic director, as the person in charge of all of the athletics there, how do you measure success inside your program and inside the individual programs under the umbrella of all athletics?
Yeah, it's all those things. Ultimately, our promise to our student athletes that come to USC is that we're going to be the unmatched, unquestioned top destination for the most talented students to come and reach their full potential in everything that they do. Well, part of that, obviously, is being the best athletes and being part of the best teams and winning. Young men and women come here to be the best, and having successful winning programs is a big part of that. They also come here to develop and become their best selves. And so academics, social, the long-standing commitment that we have to student athletes, it shouldn't just be for the 4 or 5 years that they're here. It should be for a lifetime. And I think that's, I've always admired USC from afar for the Trojan family, for that connectivity, for that togetherness. And now that I'm here and I get to be part of that and I'm living that and I'm trying to instill and inspire that and keep that going, that's motivating. And so it's everything. And, if you don't have successful programs, you're not going to be able to live on that promise. But if you don't care about people and connect with them and bring value to their lives, not just our student athletes, not just our staff, not just our university, but everybody in the Trojan family, it's not enough. So we're going for it all because at USC we can.
How much of this is just going to be, you could try as best as you can and everyone that's a part of the staff there to prepare for the Big Ten, but what are some of the challenges that you feel like maybe today you don't see them, or maybe you do see them that are just going to be challenges that's part of the landscape of being a part of the Big Ten? Obviously, what the Pac-12 was before, and just geographically where all the schools were located. What are some of the challenges that you feel like you're going to you're just have to be a part of as you guys get into the Big Ten?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. I mean, first of all, just a massive shout out to the staff at USC for the work that they've done, not just this past year with them, but before we arrived. They've worked tirelessly to, ensure that we have all the right resources in place to provide the best travel experience for our student athletes. We have about 250 of our student athletes, about 40% of our student athletes are going to be participating in full Big Ten travel. So a lot of our student athletes actually won't be impacted as much as I think the public would think as far as travel goes and just competition goes in the Big Ten, just based on how each sport is composed within the conference. But you're right in that, we don't know yet, right? I mean, we're really prepared. We have great resources at USC. The way that student athletes have been supported here has been best in class and will remain so in the new model. And part of it will be that we need to adapt. We need to listen. We need to pay attention. We have great mechanisms in place for student athlete feedback, coach feedback. And so what I'm confident in is whatever we don't know yet, we'll know, and we will evolve and adapt to ensure that we give our student athletes and our programs the best experiences possible.
Jen, I don't know if you have the authority to do this or not, but have you ever thought about just kind of sending a USC Olympic team to the games? Because you guys could probably clean up pretty well in that.
Isn't that so cool? I mean, to be the school, right? Again, that's what I mean. We can do it all here, and we will. We have, and we will, and we'll continue to. Just so proud of all the Trojans that are competing in Paris, and not just this year, but for all the past Olympic success that we've had and will continue to have. I just think that speaks volumes to the Trojan family and how much they care about our programs and our student athletes.
66 athletes at the games in Paris right now.
That's pretty good.
If SC was its own country, they would have the 12th most athletes in the game. So not too shabby. Jen Cohen is the athletic director at USC. Jen, it was good talking with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks so much, everybody. Spot on.
You got it. And, of course, a new partnership with USC. We're going to kick it off with football here in just a little bit. We're going to have all the football games. We got men's basketball. We got women's basketball. We're going to talk with women's basketball coach Lindsay Gottlieb. That's coming up at about 11:30. 66 athletes from one university. That's
her
bananas.
Connection to us. Like how she's not just sitting here hanging out with us. She's born in Arcadia.
That's right.
She went to San Diego State University. Basically, La Familia here.
She needs to be a Travis and Sliwa all-star.
She should be. She definitely
I think she's
going to
be a little busy.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be a little busy.
She can listen to our podcast as she goes about
That's right.
her day. Come on.
That's right. When they're making the road trip to, what's the farthest Big Ten school? Maryland? Rutgers?
Rutgers, probably?
Yeah,
so
probably.
one of them.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time to listen to the whole show.
Plenty of time for this. 66 athletes
That's
from
crazy.
one school.
That's a trip.
I was reading something the other day, and I get the numbers a little wrong, but it's mostly right, that if California were its own country, that the athletes that were born and raised in California would be, I think, the 5th largest contingent at the games, and Southern California specifically would be like 9th. That's a lot of athletes from California.
Pretty good.
Someone who's not from California or Southern California, I wasn't like raised here. The club dynamics of California are just so robust that, like, one, you could play any sport pretty much you wanted to.
Yeah.
And you have high level competition.
Yeah.
And, like, they set up the club, the kids succeed really well here and develop really well. I came from an area like Northern Virginia. We aren't shabby with how we develop players, but it just don't have the same level of robust competition.
And there's not 20 million people in
Right.
one small spot. that 20
has something
million
to do with it.
people is more. What's the population in California? It's like 35 million. It's something crazy like that. So it's pretty good sized place. Thanks again to Jen. Lindsay Gottlieb coming up at 11:30. And of course, this is the home of all of your USC Trojan athletics. Football, men's basketball, women's basketball, all right here on 710. The Dodgers open up a series against the last bad team they're going to play for a very long time. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new...
There's nothing like NHL hockey, LA Kings hockey on 710 ESPN. Welcome to the family.
Brand new partnership. We're excited to have the Kings right here, the home of the Los Angeles Kings. And Trav, now I just need an invitation to go catch a game.
You have been giving you one forever. Now you have to
across the street. Now it's across the street.
Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go.
The Kings are back on 710 ESPN. Believe it or not, I did pregame for the Kings 25 years ago. Damn, I'm old. Luke Robitaille, the rest of the Kings organization couldn't be more excited. Go Kings, go.
Go Kings, go. Nothing like live hockey. Nothing like seeing it in person. Nothing like watching it on TV. Nothing like listening to it on the radio. And we've got them on ESPN LA. Go Kings, go.
We're so excited. The LA Kings have found a new home right here on 710 ESPN. Can't wait to see you on the ice.
I want to congratulate the LA Kings. You are now on the greatest sports radio station in America, 710. And guess what? Now I get to be one of the ice girls at a Kings game. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go.
In practices, see TotalWireless.com.
Have you thought about entering a debt relief program because you have crushing credit card payments that only seem to go up? Know this before you do. Debt settlement will torch your credit score and make getting any credit over the next few years a true nightmare. If you own a home, there is a better way out. You can refinance with the Loan Exchange to pay off all your non-mortgage debt. Even if the rate is higher than your current mortgage, you can knock your monthly nut down while boosting your credit score even higher. Bonus, the Loan Exchange has free closer loans, meaning no closing costs. Extra bonus, mortgage interest is tax deductible up to a loan amount of $750,000, which means even more savings. So call the Loan Exchange at 855-752-9944 or go to theloanexchange.com to dump those 24% interest credit cards now. NMLS 1637539. Loan subject to credit approval. See website for licensing information, loan terms and conditions. Equal housing lender. That's 855-752-9944 or theloanexchange.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Tired of wasting your money on testosterone booster products that just don't work? We don't blame you. That's why Nugenix Total T lets you try before you buy. Just text HOT to 369-369 to claim your complimentary sample. Why have millions of men already trusted Nugenix for a man-boosting increase in their testosterone levels? Well, nothing else is like it. It contains Tesnor, a key ingredient shown to work. Nugenix Total T boosts free and total testosterone levels to help you feel better at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand and #1 at GNC and #1 at Walmart. But don't take our word for it. Try before you buy. If it works, keep using it. If not, keep the sample. You've got nothing to lose, but you could gain energy, muscle, drive, even more passion. Text HOT to 369-369. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text HOT to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
710 ESPN.
The new home of the USC Trojans. It is a USC Big Ten Friday right here on your new home of the Trojans, 710 ESPN.
On LA's mega sports station.
So what did you think about, I liked your question about SC Notre Dame. Are we going to get that game in perpetuity? Because Lincoln Riley kicked open the door.
Yep.
Notre Dame very quickly jumped on it and said, we want to keep it going for as long. And again, Notre Dame's in a very different position than USC. Notre Dame is an independent. They don't have a conference schedule that they have to play. They can go play Navy and Army and Air Force.
It's a good game for them. Competition.
They
good
do.
game for them.
It's a great game. It's arguably, if it's not their marquee game, which it probably is, it's not past second or third. USC's got to go into an absolute, just grinder of a conference schedule, and even in the Pac-12, you got Oregon, you've got Washington, you've got whoever else.
This is
happens.
Next level.
This is a step above that.
Yeah.
All Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin,
Michigan State. Like there's going to be other games,
and Oregon and Washington came with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to have your non-conference schedule be that daunting is I get it. Like my grandfather, who is a proud SC alum and loved SC football as much as he loved anything in the world, he would be horrified at the prospect of not playing Notre Dame every year.
Yeah.
But I get it, man. I get it.
Well, there's already, it is unfortunate because I think the door is open, and Lincoln Riley's goal is what? I don't think his job is to care about tradition. I don't think his job is to care about what the past has been. I don't think his job is, frankly, to care about an SC fan that says, well, I really like playing Notre Dame. His job is how many wins can I get in this conference to make sure that I'm in that playoff?
Yeah.
And then once I get to that playoff, that this squad is ready to actually compete in that playoff. That's his job.
And if that happens, that other stuff becomes less important.
Yeah.
Like if it's, listen, I don't think even Lincoln Riley, who's, not an LA guy, a Trojan born and bred, he came from another place and he's the coach here now. And that's fine. I don't mean that in a negative way at all.
It's a business deal.
He's not soaked in the culture of USC football until he got the job, right? But I'm assuming in a perfect world, he would like to do both. Because I think everybody in a perfect world, you want to play a prestigious schedule, you want to play against Notre Dame, all of these things. But you're right. And once you go to the 12-team playoff, and that's going to be like, okay, we're in, that's cool. But then it's going to be, did you win a game? Then it's going to be, did you get to the Final Four? Then it's going to be, did you get to the final?
But you got to get in.
You got to get in.
And if that loss prevented you from getting in, that does mean
absolutely.
something.
But once you do get in, and once you start to be in it regularly, and that idea of, well, we don't even play Notre Dame anymore, that's going to fade a little bit, if in fact that's what happens. Because it's, hey, look, maybe we don't play Notre Dame once every 3 years or 4 years or whatever it is. Instead of having two of those monsters, you have one of them, and it's Notre Dame every other year, whatever. But we're in the mix. We got a chance to win a title. Yeah, that's a trade-off that makes sense to me.
Everything's on the table. The Pac-12 is done.
Yeah.
They were in a conference. That conference existed for over 100 years.
But that doesn't have anything to do with Notre Dame, really.
No, but my point is that the Pac-12 is done. As in, whatever you thought college football was before, whatever tradition that you thought existed, whatever you wanted it to look like, NIL just came in the last few years. Whatever you were accustomed to in college athletics, put it to the side. And Notre Dame would just be another small piece of all these other pieces that have, and even
that's a good point.
Even Jen Cohen mentioned like it is a changing landscape. She didn't answer the question. She just, there is a little bit of we're going to have to do what's in the best interest of USC. USC and UCLA went and joined the Big Ten. Why? Why did they go into join?
Money.
And what are they supposedly that money's going to be used for resources to make those programs as best as they possibly can to go compete with the big boys?
High level of resources was a phrase that she used. A robust donor collection is a phrase that she used. It's a more competitive environment is a phrase. This is all NIL. This is all, we need to have these things to be competitive. You can't do it the way that it used to be done. And that's why teams like Oregon jump to the front. This is why teams like Georgia, Ohio State, I read something the other day, I think it was $28 million in NIL they have distributed in their athletic, but $28 million? I mean,
it's a corporation.
My God.
They're all corporations.
And if I'm a high school athlete, if I'm a 5-star football player, and Ohio State's got the bag over here, and you're saying, hey, we've got this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, cool. Do you have a bag? We got a smaller bag. It doesn't work. Mm-hmm. You need a bag. And then you need all the other stuff. But without the the cartoonish sack of money with the dollar sign on it, it's you have to have that, and that's why they're in the Big Ten. That's why these conferences change. It's why Texas and Oklahoma are in the SEC.
Sure.
They had no choice. You have to go.
Here's my personal opinion of where I sit here today. Where I sit here today, I do still have a little bit of old school in me, and I think it still would have been cool if the Pac-12 existed. But things are changing, and you're either aboard for those changes or you're left behind. And I think that's what SC, UCLA, some of these other programs realize and understand. And here's the one thing that I think is going to happen as well, and we haven't had any of these games yet, and they're going to happen. In 5 years, we might be sitting here and saying, God, do I love what SC and Ohio State, when they play each other, or the tradition that's starting to be built of Michigan and USC.
Sure. That
will eventually kind of breed its own ground of competitiveness that we didn't have in the past.
I'm with you 100%. And it's you got to ask. I love the Pac-10. I love the Pac-12, and I'm sorry that it's gone. But the choice was evolve, go to one of the big ones, Big Ten, SEC, evolve, become one of the big ones, which was not on the table for the Pac-12. It just wasn't. The school, other than SC, Oregon, maybe Washington, maybe UCLA. The rest of those schools are not operating in the same universe as those other places. Yeah. Or you have to just decide that you're okay being the Mountain West. Because that's what it was going to turn into with what was going on over there. If the SEC was growing like it is, adding Texas, adding Oklahoma, the Big Ten's growing like it is, and you're like, yeah, we just want to keep our thing over here, that's fine, but it would have turned into the Mountain West or something along those lines because the money isn't flowing. The money was not flowing to that.
The other problem as well is the Pac-12 was just ran poorly.
Yes.
So you also didn't have, the Pac-12 didn't have an opportunity because of their commissioner and because of their leadership. The Pac-12...
Their TV deal. At the end of the day, it was about the TV deal.
The Pac-12, looking at it now, why weren't they the aggressors? Why weren't they the ones out there that were adding schools and doing all that?
Oddly enough, they tried. So if you go back...
They didn't have the right leadership.
They did not. But they were one of the first to move, or an attempt to move big. What happened was, this goes back to like the early 2010s, if not slightly before that.
It triggered everything?
They tried to get Texas and Texas A&M and Oklahoma to come to the Pac-12. They made the first move, but they couldn't pull it off because of what you're talking about. Because the leadership of the conference at that point was not strong. And then once they realized, oh, blank, it's on, everybody started to move, and they were the ones that didn't have any moves.
And that's in any business.
But they did try to go first, but they just couldn't pull it off.
Here's what I was going to say. In any business, any corporation, leadership is obviously everything.
Sure.
And I could try something, but if I don't close that deal, and all of a sudden the people across the street are saying, okay, conceptually, the idea of what they just tried, but we'll actually execute it.
Yeah.
So you could try to execute something. And I think that maybe that was kind of the beginning of the downfall, was you swung and you missed, and now you gave other conferences opportunities to kind of plan this thing out and think how they can do it, or add more resources, add more money, better TV deals, and this is where we stand today.
Because SC is so important to college athletics in the West, on the West Coast, and really not even in the West Coast, but really the western part of the United States. Once they decided that they were going to move to the Big Ten, that was it. That the dominoes started to fall at that point.
You took the cream of the crop.
They're
That's
the
it.
one.
That's the one.
And UCLA, of course, was going to come.
And if the Pac-12 couldn't bring other great programs in, then it was just a matter of time before some of these guys
I'm excited. Like you said, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but they're not going to play Michigan every year. They're not going to play Ohio State every year. They're not going to play Penn State, but they're going to play most of them most of the time.
Yeah.
And that'll be, you're going to have a game against Indiana or I don't know, Minnesota or something, or what's there, like Rutgers, like that isn't great, but that was the game against Washington State always good? Was the game against Cal something that you had to see? Those games weren't great.
You're not
either.
playing 12 ranked teams. It's not happening.
I do think the difference that we're going to see, just as a viewer, not as a player or athlete or anything like that, is that we're going to see more snow games. We're going to see them compete in the weather. There's going to be a lot more weather being a factor. Because I remember talking to us at the Rams the other day.
I was on
Kirk.
No, it was.
Quentin Lake.
Yeah, Quentin Lake was talking to us about how that's, to him as a player, the first thing he's thought of was playing in the winter in November and even late October. It's going to be cold.
I think the only Big Ten team that plays inside is Minnesota. Everybody else is outside. Oh, no, Minnesota built a new place. They're outside too. The entire,
that technically is that's an advantage for them. So they want, I mean, if you got some of these West Coast schools coming in, don't you want them playing in
it's the biggest disadvantage is to the two California schools because it's nice here.
Sure.
Right?
Oregon and Washington are fine.
They're fine, but at least it gets cold and wet there.
No, I'm saying they're fine. With going to the Big Ten.
Right.
They're used to it.
They're used, maybe not the snow, but the cold and the wet at least. UCLA and SC is 75 here in
Foreign
November.
language.
It's pretty nice. Wait, it's
where are
what?
we playing in Russia?
I've never been so cold in my life as that NFC Championship game at Lambeau Field, end of December, or excuse me, January. And I'm like, I think this is where it ends for me. This is it. I'm just going to be like, you know, they find guys on the side of Everest where they died trying to climb the mountain. They're frozen up there for 100 years. That was going to be me in the parking lot at Lambeau Field. They'd have to dig me out 100 years from now.
One time we got 58 in El Cajon, and I was like, it's done.
Ask Slee coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Touchdown, you.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
I'm Chevy Dealer of the Year. Visit them today and save on your next vehicle with hot summer offers going on now. That's George Chevrolet off the 91 freeway in Bellflower and online at georgechevy.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
John Ireland here for my friends at Beverly Hills Orthodontics, and you can find them at beverlyhillsortho.com. Did you know that one of your most memorable and meaningful features is your smile? Get the confidence you need to make a brilliant first impression with the incredible Dr. Madden and her awesome team. They're the experts in Invisalign braces and the all-new InBrace technology, braces behind your teeth. Check them out now at beverlyhillsortho.com. And remember, whatever happens, you're always smiling with Beverly Hills Orthodontics. That's beverlyhillsortho.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. You know, I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. You know, basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
And it is Travis and Sliwa. It's time, like we do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10:45. Let's get to it. Ask Slee right now.
Fact. That's Factor Cap. That's coming up 11:45 today.
Aloha.
11:40. Aloha. Yeah, we got it all mixed up right now. It's Friday. It's Ask Slee. 877-710 ESPN. Let's start right here. I like this one. This is from Darb in the OC. Ribeye, filet, or New York strip?
I always do the ribeye.
It's a good choice.
I know it's fatty.
It is.
A little extra fat.
It is.
There's a lot of times where people probably don't eat the fat, but I still find myself eating the fat.
Same here.
The fat's the flavor, right?
Yeah. Michelle will look at me like you're disgusting, and I will look back at her like, but it's so
delicious.
Good.
Exactly.
It's so good. Rookie kind of next to me, kind of stealing him a.
You give him a little piece of the fat?
Cutting him a couple of pieces. We're in heaven together. Ribeye's my favorite. Yeah, ribeye's my favorite.
What's last on that list? The filet or the strip?
Filet. I just never get the filet. Like, I just never order it. Typically, the amount of a filet is usually like, 8 ounces?
That's a big one. Usually it's 6.
Okay, 6 ounces?
Yeah.
So I think that just goes back to my, I'm trying to get as much value as possible. And if you told me it was 14 ounces where 8 of those ounces are fat, then I justify the cost. I just don't get I can't tell you why, but growing up, I know we definitely never ordered it. It definitely never was at the house. So it's not like something that was often.
The filet, I like a filet, but the problem with the filet is there isn't any fat. There's virtually none in that filet, and you got to bring other things to it to make it really, really terrific.
Yeah. Yeah, I like, and if you ever have, if you ever had a nice, they bring the bread out and everything else. I just like kind of soaking in of the oil and the fat on the bread. I can't really do that with a filet.
What about T-bone? No T-bone?
T-bone is actually the best of both worlds because one side of the T is the filet and the other side is the strip, so you kind of get both. But Emily's right. A T-bone, you're signing up for an assignment when you order a T-bone. Like, you got to really dig in there.
Korean barbecue. You have to do a lot of the work.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I'm not, sometimes you go to a nice restaurant. One of the most, it's the biggest, but you get a tomahawk, right?
Yeah.
But you're splitting it, one of those. You might not want to look at my table.
Look like a crime scene.
Yeah, because, bro, there's so much good meat on that bone. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just leave the meat on there? And I can't cut it off using a knife or a fork.
Were you picking it up like Fred
Flintstone?
Flintstone?
Whatever I got to do, bro.
There's a place on the street for $99. You get margarita flights and a tomahawk for $99 on Tuesdays.
Doesn't sound like the worst thing I've ever heard.
After 5, yeah.
And what do you got?
A great afternoon. All right, so this is from Optimus Prime Rib. Speaking of meat, Optimus Prime Rib asks, when in line at the grocery store, do you get annoyed when someone in front of you waits until the cashier tells them the total and then rummages for their card, knowing that they could have had it ready to go when they were in line? So again, you get mad if they just don't have card ready to go because you have probably 4 minutes, 5 minutes to get your card ready while they're...
At least, yeah.
Beep, beep.
I get frustrated in any situation where somebody has time to be prepared, and then when it's their time, they're not prepared. So we've talked about this before, and I think this is a good example because we all go get a cup of coffee or you go to Starbucks or something like that. There's always 2 or 3 people in front of you. The menu didn't change. Why are you waiting until you get to the front of the line to all of a sudden start looking up and asking 7 different questions about your cup of coffee? Maybe
I'm not ready. You can go ahead of me. I'm not ready.
That would be awesome, but no, it really does that. Okay, but I maybe because I'm just too simple. You're too simple. I just get a cup of coffee. If I'm give me a black coffee or put a little milk in it, and I'm calling it a day. I think to go back to the grocery store thing. It's just you had time to be prepared, and the fact that you're not prepared by the time you get there.
The coffee one is infuriating simply because
they never take their card out. It's Costco.
Well, they have Costco bullies now. The people at Costco will, as you're unloading, give me your card.
Yeah.
Like they want to get you through so quick. They know don't leave that in there. I got it. They're pretty good at that. The coffee thing though, you're spot on. Who doesn't know what they want from the coffee place?
Even if Starbucks.
Even if you have like the 10-step coffee order, it's the 10-step coffee. You know what it is. Is this your first time experiencing coffee? You know what it is that you want. Just go get what you want.
Have a quick follow-up. Okay?
Fight with anybody.
So you go to a grocery store and you bring your reusable bags because you don't want to pay the 10 cents or whatever. So bring your reusable bags. You have a decent-sized order for the grocery store that you're going to go pick up. So maybe 3 bags total. And so I got in a situation before where beep, beep, but the person is not putting things in the bag as they go. Do you put things in your bag yourself, or do you wait for the experts to do it? Because I tend to let the experts do it.
Great question.
Because they're better at it than I am.
I'm going to have to use so many bags if I do it. Like, this is what they do. And they do understand how to put, whether it's dairy or it's meat or your
You would
toothpaste.
put the eggs in the bottom, milk in the top.
100%.
Laundry detergent on top of the eggs.
No, I was going to say I put laundry detergent right next to the meat that I just
You would have
bought.
to, if they're not bagging it as they go, though,
yeah.
you'll have to wait for 2 minutes after
You
you've
might
already
have
paid.
to wait, but that to me is that part's worth it because I don't know what I'm doing. So I do wait. I will ask. I think you've already got this question before. and if DeMarco's listening, he's going to say, "I'll bring it up again," or brings it up again. The divider.
The tube.
Do you put the divider?
Yeah.
For the person behind you.
When I'm done with my stuff, that means I'm done.
Yep. Divider goes.
Yeah. Also,
DeMarco.
I'll wait all day long for them to pack the groceries, unless I am in an extreme rush.
I'm
what
waiting.
they're there for.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
That's what they're doing.
DeMarco, no divider. He's not giving the person behind him.
Well, maybe he's making sure that his head's on a swivel so he doesn't get snatched. That
could happen at a grocery store.
I had a situation where I think I was dealing with the owner of the store because you want bags? Sure. 1 bag for the milk, 1 bag for the detergent. I was like, no. We're doing this the wrong way. I want all the small stuff in bags, the big stuff I can carry.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so this one's from Raider. No, skip that guy. Carlos Castillo. When watching the Olympic Games, do you enjoy the background stories they sometimes show, or would you prefer just to watch the competition?
No, I don't mind background stories. I think most of us don't know anything about even our own USA competitors. I'm supposed to know something about the Turkish shooter,
Everyone's convinced he's a hitman.
Oh, it's the best. I saw so many tweets on this guy yesterday. Everybody, listen, you can't just put your hand in your left. Imagine somebody like right now they're running. I don't know what the distance is, and there's just like a little pocket. Imagine Usain Bolt back in the day, just like I don't know, folding his arms while he ran because he knows he's going to win. I'll take a little background story. The only problem is, I was telling Trav earlier, I haven't really watched that much Olympics. I'm like disappointed in myself that I have not watched that much Olympics. The most Olympics I've watched is here because the TVs are on in the background. I feel like when I go home, I'm not watching.
But you don't have to watch at home because you already watched it. Because what's
most of the
stuff
at night
is a replay.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to those little vignettes used to drive me like, dudes. I don't care about the backstory. Show me the event. I like the backstories. I don't know if it's an age thing and you want to know a little bit more of the context of where these people come from, what they've gone through. But those little things about, she took care of her sick mother and then she'd go train at night. I like those a lot more than I used to.
Suni Lee recovering from kidney disease to
she
come back and
gained
perform.
40 pounds in a month.
Yeah.
In a month.
Suni Lee, who placed bronze at the individual all-around yesterday.
Yeah. That's bananas. All right, one more here, Slee. Let's see here. When watching that's the one she just read.
I have one from Dan Tapia if you want to do that one.
Nope, I got one right here. Okay. Capitano Matt. If San Diego State offered you one of the following jobs, which would you take? Athletic director, head basketball coach, or geography professor?
Okay, geography professor last.
With tenure.
It's the first one.
But also with tenure.
Bingo. That's the right answer.
Last.
Not a chance.
Oh, that's a tough one. I take athletic director. Dutcher already knows what he's doing, and then all the pressure's on me to try to figure out what to do with the basketball program. So that one's done. Dutcher's doing his thing. Athletic director, a lot of pressure on that. But I would take that.
Tick, 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 tick,
Yeah.
tick, tick, tick.
Hopefully a good paycheck too, because
But professor, sneaky, one of the best jobs in the world.
Mm-hmm.
In the world.
So you work, 6 months a year?
Something like that.
You have a very long summer break. You have a very long winter break.
Good pitch.
Yep.
You have to teach class 3 days a week.
And you have teaching assistants.
College professor.
Yeah, yes.
College
a
professor,
tenured, large class professor.
Can't
easiest.
get rid of you. On a college campus.
And you can take your time on your own little side quests.
You publish once in a while. You have to publish.
But again, it's hard to get rid of you.
I'm going to take my I'm getting fired in 3 years as my athletic director.
You do not get paid as much as you would if you're a basketball coach, likely. So you're probably getting paid.
The pay, the compensation is lower, but it's also guaranteed until you are in the ground.
Yeah, no, you're getting fired. You're getting fired, or like a medical thing's going to happen because you're so stressed.
And once you know
which
what you're
matches
teaching,
me,
right? Once I know that, okay, I'm a geography professor, right? I got my lecture on Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, South America. Got it.
Easy peasy.
There's
I'm
nothing
good.
else to learn.
Yeah, like my intro to media studies professor has been teaching the same crap for 15 years. Like, I again loved him. He was a great professor, but he taught 200 students at one time, and the person I actually talked to the most is my TA.
Brenda's cousin is auto shop or mechanic, whatever, and he's a professor now. And he's like, George, have you thought about teaching? I was like, Talk to me,
You should follow up on that.
Okay.
That's not a bad.
Sometimes it is hard to get into it, though.
It is. It's very difficult.
One of my professors at UVA,
nepotism. He's my cousin now.
she was an associate professor for a long time, an adjunct professor for a long time. So I had to write petitions for her to become a full professor. She's not even tenured yet, but she had to write to her students, "Hey, please defend me." And she's the best professor I had. The reason I have any job is because of this professor. And then the university was like, meh. Until they did.
You need to get it locked down, but once it's locked down, in Capitano Matt's scenario, Slee, you just bypass all that. You're in for life. You could live in San Diego, you could put up your feet forever. It's a pretty good deal.
Online classes? Oof.
Yeah.
I'd rather not be able to sleep because I know the clock is ticking.
You got to fix that baseball program. It's the first thing. They've been terrible for 20 years, and that's ridiculous. I don't know. They should be.
I was going to say they should be one of the better programs.
They absolutely should be. The Dodgers open a series against the A's. Last time they'll play the A's in Oakland, so we got that. Plus, it's also the last bad team they're going to play for about a month. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
USC is official.
Starting Monday, September 9th, there's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it means the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block begins an hour earlier. Even more live and local LA sports talk on 710 ESPN. The Travis and Sliwa Show will start at 9 a.m. Mason and Ireland move back to noon to 3, and Shidano and Cappy start the LA Afternoon Drive Takeover at 3 p.m. And then at 6 p.m., we are the destination for LA sports. It's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it begins Monday, September 9th.
SFB-01.
Hey, it's Travis.
And Slee. By now you have heard about our good friends at the law office of Joseph S. Normand.
When my son Bobby was in an accident, we called Joe and he hit it out of the park. That's why I trust Joe.
No insurance company is ever on your side. Anything you say to them can and will be used against you. Joe and his team will treat you like family, get you the medical attention you need, and the max compensation you deserve.
Call 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com.
The law office of Joseph S. Normand.
The biggest show on the radio.
That's Mason in Ireland. Weekdays after Crab and Sleep.
All right, let's go to Abdul. Abdul, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead, Abdul.
Hey, you guys, I love you. Been listening to the show for 15 years, and I just want to say, Mason, you just don't bring it like you used to bring it anymore. I'm just wondering, did you not drink your coffee this morning, or what's going on, man?
You think I'm not bringing it today?
Today, especially, but just in general. Over the past year, I feel like you just kind of coasted.
Wow, this call is going to rot in his head.
That is absolutely ridiculous, Abdul.
And I'm sure we won't use it for imaging at all. Abdul, what are you doing for the Mandy's next year?
I'm showing up and bringing Mason some coffee and some Energizer.
All right.
Okay, there you go.
Mason needs some coffee. I had 2 quad espressos today. I don't know what else I can do.
Steve Mason and John Ireland. Today at 1 p.m.
Mason and Ireland on 710 ESPN.
USC is officially in the Big Ten. We celebrate all day on your new home of the Trojans.
710 ESPN, KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is the Mid-Morning Spectacular live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
You ready for a post Ask Slee? Slee?
Yep.
This is upsetting, frankly. Yeah. All right. This is from Mike C. I want to know if I'm just nasty. I got a breakfast sandwich this morning from a restaurant. I'm not going to mention it. And there was a long hair embedded in the cheese when I unwrapped it. I pulled it out and ate it anyway. I'm not going back or throwing it away. What would Slee do?
That is disgusting.
So the answer, Mike, is you're nasty.
Long hair is better than short curly hair. Just
Well, yes,
saying.
that goes without saying. I think
Long
it goes
hair,
without
there's a
saying.
singular long hair.
Let me give a example. A couple months ago, not too long ago, went to a taco shop, got myself a burrito, was excited about the burrito, been to this place before, and
asada.
There was carne asada. There was
so glad there was a hair in it.
There was hair in it, and just very simply put, I was probably a quarter into the burrito. Just very simply put, I put it down. I wrapped up the burrito. Had a couple sides that was there too. I had some beans I had inside this. Put it all in a bag. Took it to the trash chute. I didn't even put it in like our trash can. I just went and took
outside.
Went outside and put it in the trash chute. Threw it away, and let's just say I saved about a good 1,000 calories that night. But no, I did not touch it, and I appreciate you being honest with us and telling your story that the hair that was embedded in the cheese that you just powered through it. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. I can't do it.
I think
hair
that,
I can't do.
Would you?
I think I'd throw it away.
I
do.
It's not like mold on bread. Like you wouldn't.
No,
just pick that?
because
this is somebody else's
mold. Honestly,
hair.
is a naturally occurring thing. Like it's not
This
the
is
end
not
of the
natural.
world. This is just
this guy washes hair.
It means that the
plus on his hair. I don't know.
The place where the sandwich was prepared is unsanitary. That's what it means. It's
and mistakes happen.
I mean, do you see any hairnets at any taco stand? Okay, hair's gonna fall out.
You're not wrong. I'm saying that. I'm not saying that I won't go eat at a place where the people aren't in hairnets and gloves. I'm saying if I'm in the middle of something and I find
somebody
hair
else's
in my
hair
food,
is in there, I'm not
I'm out.
continuing the process.
Yeah, I think I'm out in that situation.
I closed the salsas.
Yeah,
like everything. I closed up shop. It's like I was closing the restaurant.
I would not do that. Like if I found the hair that in the burrito, I'm done with that. But if the rice and beans are hairless, I'm going to finish those off. I'm going to finish that off. Yeah,
couldn't do it.
They don't have any hairs in them.
but you
At
just had
least none that I found so far.
But you also don't have an appetite. Like it's not like I threw that away and then said,
it
now
wouldn't
I'm
kill
going
my
to go
appetite.
eat something else.
Oh no,
my appetite was.
Oh no, not me. I would get rid of that particular food item, but I would find something else to eat. Would you eat it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Em, would you?
I wouldn't eat it, but I'm not completely disgusted by this organization that made this. I think it happens.
We didn't say. I didn't name
I'm
the
just
restaurant
saying.
and say I'm just saying that if that happens, it's. Let's put it this way.
I just can't have it in front of me. I just can't see it.
I haven't been back there. And
will you ever go back?
No, I don't think I will.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not telling you it doesn't
I'd
happen,
go
but
back.
it's just stuck in my mind.
I'd go back. I've eaten some sketchy places that have not gone well, and I go back. I go back.
Same,
yeah, it just I figured
it's good.
Bad day. It tasted good.
I'm a 3 strikes kind of guy. You got first one strike. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It doesn't even have to be sketchy. It's just hair falls
No,
out.
it happens. Listen, growing up, just let me give a quick example here. Growing up, my mom would cook a ton. Right? My mom was basically we were eating homemade food every day for the most part. Her hair definitely made it into our meals.
Sure, of course.
It's not like I would tell my mom, I'm never eating your food again, but at least I knew it was coming from our house. I don't know.
I'm
conceptually
with you. You
what the idea
go
was.
an extra step
I do
or
go
two,
an extra step,
but
yeah.
I'm with you on the first. That goes in the trash. Yeah. We're going to move on from there. Dodgers open a 3-game series with the A's. We get to see it's the last trip the Dodgers will make to Oakland. Obviously, Oakland is not going to play in Oakland next year. They're going to be in Sacramento for at least a few years. If God knows where they go after that. Maybe Vegas, maybe not. But what's interesting about that is not only their last trip, it's not only that we're going to get to see Jack Flaherty pitch for the Dodgers for the first time. He's scheduled to pitch on Saturday. Mm-hmm. It's the only bad team they play in August. Okay, the A's are a bad team. They are.
Yeah.
After that, they play the Philadelphia Phillies. They have the best record in the National League. Mm-hmm. After that, they play the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are over 500 competing for a wild card spot.
Yep.
After that, they play the first place Milwaukee Brewers on the road in Milwaukee. After that, they go to St. Louis to take on a St. Louis team that isn't great, but they're over 500 and they're competing for a wild spot. They come home to take on the Seattle Mariners, who are a first-place team. After that, they take on the Tampa Bay Rays, who are over 500. They're the one team that's kind of out of the playoff picture, but they're over 500 and they're not a bad team. They come home to play The Baltimore Orioles, who have the second best record in the American League, they have exactly one fewer win than the Cleveland Guardians, who have the best record in the American League. And then they finish off the month at Arizona, divisional series, against a team that, at least right now, is not that far in their rearview mirror. That is a monster month of August.
Okay, so I'm going to point this out real quick, and I know we talked a little about this. Number one, talking Dodgers, the Freddie Freeman situation, his son, thoughts and prayers, right? And all the situations that have gone on with the Dodgers, this obviously, Freddie Freeman out right now. When he comes back, he comes back. But I want to get that one out of the way here real quick. Okay. What they got coming up in front of them, like you're talking about, Dodgers are not playing good baseball, nor is it a good team.
Neither.
It's again, I want people to understand what I'm saying. Let's use that series, the Padres and the Dodgers, the 2-game set. Padres should have won those 2 games.
Sure. Now,
granted, I don't know in game 1, it was Biggio hitting a 2-run shot. It was Lux who's been playing some good ball.
On the mound. The Dodgers should have won the game. I understand your point, but they had a 5-run lead with their best guy and still lost. That's a catastrophe.
And all I'm saying is coming into that series is Padres are playing good baseball. Dodgers are struggling a little bit. They're missing a ton of guys. I think that's the thing that stands out most to me than anything else with the Dodgers is I don't know by the time you get to September 1st what the separation is going to be in the NL West. I don't know. But what I can tell you is the schedule that you just mentioned, the fact that they're missing so many players, if they had all their guys, I would tell you that, hey, that's a tough schedule in August. But it's because they're throwing out all these other random names. I know they went out and acquired some different players as well. I don't know how they're going to do for the Dodgers. That's what makes this situation that they're in interesting. I wouldn't even pay attention. If this became, hypothetically, if this became an NL West race, if it became a race.
Is it not already?
I mean,
it's not a super tight one, but it's not over.
Let me tell you where I would say, hey, we got a race here. Around 3 games, something like that. There's plenty of time left.
It could be tomorrow afternoon. It could be 3 games.
You're right. 100% right. I've watched enough Padres baseball. It could also be, 5.5 by the time. But I guess the point I'm making is this. If it becomes a real NL West race, let me tell you what that means. That means that it becomes a wild card race as well for the Dodgers because the Atlanta Braves, the San Diego Padres, Arizona Diamondbacks, New York Mets, all these teams are in the loss column, within 2 games in the loss column.
Yep.
So it's going to be an interesting month for them because this month you're trying to get healthy, you're trying to get your guys back, but whatever luxury that you had before, hey, it's okay if they don't win. You don't have an 8.5 9-game cushion anymore. It's only 4.5. And against the Padres, just to give everyone an idea here, Padres already won the series against them. So Padres have the tiebreaker. You can call it 3.5-game lead on the Padres, and that's what they're facing in the month of August.
They have a double whammy. They've got a schedule that's absolutely brutal, and they've got a team that's not complete. And not even not complete. Like you said, the team that they ran out, at least offensively, the team that they ran out is not the team that they're going to be running out in September and hopefully well in October. Kevin Biggio is not going to be at first base. You're not going to have, Biggio, Kike, Nick Ahmed, Pajes, Hayward. These guys are not all going to be in the lineup at the same time, day after day after day, the way that it's been. But they're still not, like, best case scenario, Mookie's a couple of weeks away. That's best case scenario. Best case scenario, Yamamoto's a month away. That's best case scenario. They have to play Freddie Freeman. Thankfully, like you mentioned, his son, Guillain-Barré syndrome is something that you typically do recover from. So this is very good news for him and his family. So he will be back sooner than later. That's very good news. But Max Muncy, there's no timeline. There's no timeline. Like you mentioned, the replacements that they've got, I don't know. Maybe they're good. Maybe they're not. Clayton Kershaw has not looked good. Bobby Miller has not looked good. Walker Buehler has not looked good. That you're going to have to play the next month.
30 days. About 30 days.
With guys that are either not playing well or just are not high-level major league players. This is very likely going to be pretty tight by the time you get to September. And then once you get into September, who knows what it is?
Because
they just went through a month out. I'm pulling this up real quick. Yep. That they went through the month of July, and it's not like they were playing a bunch of great teams. They weren't bad teams, but it's nothing like what they had, and they just had their first losing month since 2018.
Let me flip this real quick. Padres just finished their series. Arizona, Seattle, Atlanta, Cleveland, Baltimore. They just finished all the teams. Most of the teams that you're just talking about, and this is what they have coming up, and I'm only mentioning the Padres, and obviously the 2-game set against the Dodgers as well, because they're the closest to the Dodgers right now in the division. Here's what the Padres got coming up. Colorado, Pittsburgh, Miami, Pittsburgh, Colorado. This
Colorado twice and Miami. Those are 2 of the 3 or 4 worst teams in baseball.
So it just kind of gives you, and Pittsburgh is a team that's competing. Padres will take their chances against them.
Sure.
Okay, mano a mano. We'll go.
That's
we'll
the
go
best
to
team the Padres are going to play, and it's the worst team the Dodgers are going to play.
Good way of putting it.
That kind of tells you where they are right now. And here's the thing that we haven't talked about nearly enough, and I want to talk about this coming up next. That they have found themselves in a situation where they're trying to plug a hole at the most important position on your field defensively in August is completely inexcusable. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Hey, is your vehicle due for service? Is it ready? Check the sticker. Miles, date. If you're past due, get yourself into your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Because, we're on the road a lot for the summer. We take little trips. We have little long weekends. Maybe you're going on a vacation. You're taking the kids or whatever it might be. You don't want to be the guy pulled over to the side of the road with his hood up trying to figure out what happened to your car because you didn't service it before you got on the road. And at Valvoline, they're going to take care of you, and they're going to take care of you in a hurry, right? Oil changes, tire rotations, transmission care, and more. You just pull up, drive in, and drive out in about 15 minutes. You don't even have to get out of the car. I know you're busy. I'm busy. We're all busy. You have 15 minutes to make sure that your car is running at its absolute best, and that's what they're going to do at Valvoline. You can close your eyes for 10 minutes, send some text, listen to some music, listen to a podcast, listen to the Travis Lee Show, whatever you want to do, and now you're down the road, and your car is running at its absolute best. And there's one near you. 80 locations around Southern California ready to help you get your ride ready for the road in no time at all. Here's how you find one. SoCalOilChange.com. Find one of those locations. Get yourself some game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
USC is...
Really excited to see the new schools come into play at the Coliseum. Obviously, you're going to have Notre Dame to finish the season. That's always a special game. But seeing Nebraska showing up, Penn State showing up, LSU at the Collie, that's what I'm really looking forward to.
I think both programs, the men's football program and the men's basketball program, are moving in the right direction. And the women's basketball program at USC is going to be ranked top 5 next year. So it's a great time for the USC Trojans to be back on ESPN LA.
I'm really curious to see, what does USC football look like without Caleb Williams? What are the adjustments that Lincoln Riley makes? And what is the defense going to look like in the non-Alex Grinch era?
New conference, new quarterback, just really fired up on the football side. New head coach for basketball. So almost like a really new team, which is going to be awesome. And then returning to prominence for USC women's basketball, to be back to where USC women's basketball is. I'm super excited to see Juju in her second year, but just the rest of the players continue to grow under Coach Gottlieb.
This beautiful thing has been up since the first time SC was here. But guess what? USC is back! And once again, this means something for us. Pumped for this season. USC Athletics back on 710 ESPN.
Pachanga.com or call 888-PACHANGA for reservations or more information.
Hey guys, it's Cappy. Are you a healthy young man between the ages of 19 and 38 looking to make a difference in the world? Well, California Cryobank is seeking young men to join their team by becoming sperm donors. You can make up to $1,500 a month. If you're eligible to work in the U.S., you are eligible to apply. Make a meaningful contribution and earn some extra cash along the way by visiting spermbank.com. That's spermbank.com to apply. California Cryobank, helping make a family's dream come true, one donation at a time. Apply Apply today at spermbank.com/ESPN.
Madame Giselle senses something big coming.
Is it a career change?
Everything looks wet.
I'm going to be a swim teacher.
There's a roof.
A swim teacher who also does roofing.
No. The roof of your RV has a leak and it's ruining the furniture.
Oh, that's okay. I'm covered by Progressive. But maybe I'm a swim teaching roofer who makes furniture.
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Roof Protection Plus and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Roof Protection Plus available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Touchdown USC!
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
It is a USC Big Ten Friday. Listen all day long to your new home of the Trojans as we celebrate right here.
710 ESPN.
You going back to the home base this weekend? You going back to San Diego?
No, I will be here in Los Angeles, California. I got to drive tomorrow. I'm going to let my cousin and his family into Disneyland.
Okay.
And
what do you mean you got
I'm
to
going to
drive?
hang out there.
Oh, you just got to go to
Yeah.
So you're going to go halfway to San Diego at some point.
Not halfway. Halfway seems like I'm driving to the gas station to
Because
fill up my car.
when you said you had to drive, I thought like maybe you were driving to Portland and back in a day. Like you're going to be like a long trawl hucker or trucker, not a hucker.
And you don't want to go to Disney Channel too? Or not Disney Channel, Disneyland too?
No, I'll hang out there. I'll hang out there for a little bit. I don't know how long I'm going to hang out, but I already kind of got it's cousin Slee.
It's an hour.
So it's cousin Slee.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it depends what time you leave on a Saturday morning. So I tell cousin Slee, I'm like, look, place opens at 8 a.m.
Rope drop.
Let's get in there. Let's crank this thing out. I'll hang out with you guys for a while as well, and then, I got some other stuff I'm going to go take care of. I'm going to head back up to Pasadena. He's like, yeah, I don't think we get there till 10:30. I'm like, okay, cool. So you're going to dictate what time I'm bringing.
Was the response, you understand I'm getting you in, right? Was that the response to that?
And then, it was. I don't know if I want to show you. And then he starts going into this. He's got 2 kids. Okay. So he starts going into this, well, here's the situation, and then this happened, and then we got the dog that we got to this and that. I'm like, bro, I don't care what you guys got. Let's get in there at 8 a.m.
Sounds like a CSP.
Yeah.
A cousin Slee problem.
He's probably listening right now. I want him to know that he's an idiot, and we'll figure it out. So I'm gonna be, and I could probably, actually, Jorge, you're down there all the time too. I haven't been to Disneyland in a while. So what should I be, like, is there 1 or 2 things that I should
Corn
be
dogs.
100% doing?
I saw the fries.
Nope, no side of fries. Corn dog 100%. I mean, it's basically the same Disneyland. That you
How old
can
are
go
his
to for
kids?
whatever. Yeah.
I want to say 12 and 10.
Okay.
They probably like Star Wars.
Yeah,
if
for
they,
sure. Okay.
Even if they don't watch Star Wars, they probably like the Rise of the Resistance and the. Would be fun to do if you. I guess it's a group of 6 can get into it. 5 can get into it. The one where you're all commanding things, like someone's a pilot. So it's like not Rise of the Resistance. It's like
I don't know the names of things, but I know what you're talking about.
Ship, what?
Yeah, you fly the Millennium Falcon.
that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
What lines are short and it's cool in there?
Honestly,
that I
Millennium
don't care
Falcon.
whether they like it or not, but that's what I'm Like I'm really heavily
Tiki
selling.
Room. Apparently, this is
the Lincoln.
It's gone.
What?
Yes.
So here's 2 places I suggest, Al, for what you
Tragedy.
asked for, that I went to like last week. Indiana Jones. You do a little bit of outside line and a lot of inside line.
Okay.
And the ride is actually pretty decent, and like the kids will probably get a kick out of it. 2, also, the Millennium Falcon ride is a lot of inside, and honestly, a lot of times there's not a big line for it. But if they
Indiana
do have
Jones, Millennium Falcon ride.
if they have any motion sickness issues,
Jungle Cruise.
maybe avoid that. Jungle Cruise is all outside waiting, though.
It's hot. It's the summer. It's Disneyland.
Yeah.
You're going to be uncomfortable. It's hot. It's
You
just
gotta
Saying,
get-
you
gotta-
want
get
an
a workout
inside one,
in?
that's
Yeah.
not the one to go
Yeah.
to.
Do the
it's-
canoes. Get the workout in.
Oh yeah, the little you go around the
You go around
river.
you go around the
You want
sand.
me to put my dad hat on for a second?
Yeah.
You got to find what they want.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the fun when you go with kids is you're enjoying their enjoyment.
But it's not my kids.
Then you're screwed.
Pirates.
Right? If it's you're looking for fun, then don't go with them. Because if you're dragging them to something that you want, it ain't going to work. If they want to go do something that you don't like, you have to find the enjoyment in their
But they're going to
enjoyment.
have from like noon to 10 to do what they want.
No, that's fine. But I'm just saying, if you drag them to the thing that they're like, because the only thing that can make
Mr. Lincoln.
Yes, the only thing that can make it a hot, steamy day a little less great is somebody complaining about a hot, steamy day the whole time. That's
true.
Right?
Get the Dole Whip.
This sucks. The Dole Whip's fantastic.
With the tahini, cucumber,
Yes.
and jicama.
Tell the guy, I'm like, let's get there at 8 a.m. He's like, we're about 10:30, like 10:15, 10:30.
Food-wise, I think that area, that the Dole Whip, the barbecue, the Bengal barbecue,
that's
where
a good spot.
it's Jungle Cruise, Indiana Jones, and another ride that are all right there.
I think I'm getting the turkey leg
go that
tomorrow.
The Tiki Room, Indiana Jones, Jungle Cruise.
It might be just those
Adventureland.
And like the shooting galleries
and
there.
And like Pirates of the Caribbean is like also
Pirates
right
Caribbean.
close to
Is the tree? Can you climb the tree?
Yes,
tree house.
the,
The tree's open
the
again?
Robinson.
Swiss Family Robinson.
There you go.
Yes. That's a workout. You want to climb 450,000 stairs in the middle of August because they got that.
I might want to just get steps in. I think that's my overall goal is just to get steps in.
And the
You'll
kids,
get them in Disneyland.
The kids they just go up like they're chimpanzees, just right to the top, and you're like, 5 steps into this thing. It's a sheer climb, like you're ascending Everest. It's brutal.
California Adventure, go to the raft thingy, the wet ride.
I'll do that.
That's
Haunted
good.
Mansion is closed right now, though.
That's
for
nice.
renovations for
Halloween.
Preparing for Halloween, yeah.
Yeah. The Nightmare Before Christmas, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He texted me, corn dog on me. For sure, bro.
Well, by the way,
And a
don't
Coke.
poo-poo anybody that's offering to buy a meal.
Yeah.
Except
I'm not even bringing my credit card tomorrow. I'm just going to I forgot my
you need
forgot my
gold
card.
bullion. They're not missing. They're not missing. It's a good day. It's a good day. I think their Dodgers are finally going to try to solve an issue that I can't believe got to this point. Dave Roberts, Brandon Gomes, the general manager, have finally at least opened the door to the possibility of Mookie Betts not being the shortstop to the end of the year. They're talking about, we're going to do what's best for the team. We expect him to go back to short. We'll see what it looks like.
Go
we
back
have lots
to
of
second?
shorts. No, you can't go to second. He can't. Gavin Lux, oddly enough, has to be in the lineup right now. He's one of the few guys that's swinging the bat.
400 in the last.
He's kind of hot right now, so you're not. And the only place Gavin Lux can play is at second base. Mookie was not killing it at short. He wasn't. He was figuring it out. It was an impossible ask to ask him to do it, but it did seem like the powers that be kind of kicked open the door for the first time all season long of the outfield, him going back to right field or maybe even center field is at least on a spreadsheet somewhere an option where they have more holes in the outfield now all of a sudden than you might think than they have in the infield. Because all the guys they signed, Ahmed, Rosario, Edman, and then you look at obviously Kike and Chris Taylor, they can all, Rojas will be back at one point. Those guys can all play shortstop. Only a couple of them can play in the outfield, and Mookie's a Gold Glove outfielder. His offense is going to be his offense. It just seems like that the experiment that they were trying to do that Mookie was willing to try, I can't believe it ever got to that point. The thing was Gavin Lux or Mookie, that just seems nutso to me.
Are we going to be sitting here in a couple of months and just saying that, why were we trying to sell ourselves on the Dodgers from basically July 1st on? Doesn't it? I mean, think about how many things right now have to map out for the Dodgers to go make a real World Series run. I get they got a lot of players out.
Yeah.
But damn, is there not a lot of questions? And then this is just, the Mookie thing is just another kind of
it's weird.
Random one that's thrown in there. Nothing's really panned out so far as well of the guys that you thought, okay, hey, Buehler or Bobby Miller or Kershaw. It's like you could go 0 for 3 on all those guys, and we'll find out more over time here. It's a interesting situation that the Dodgers are in.
I think it depends on how you want it. What you're saying is right. I think there's a way to look at that oddly enough and be at least reasonably positive about all of those things. And we'll do that coming up at 12 o'clock, because coming up next, we're going to talk with USC women's basketball coach Lindsay Gottlieb. She is going to join us coming up in just a couple of minutes. And then after that, we got Factor Cap. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
USC is up.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
Hey guys, it's Sedano here. You know it's hard to find a good dentist for your kids, someone who they can trust and enjoy going to the dentist with. Luckily, we found Children's Dental Fun Zone. With 17 locations across Southern California, Children's Dental Fun Zone specializes in children's dentistry and orthodontics. With state-of-the-art equipment and personal attention your children deserve. To book your child's next appointment, visit their website, cdfzone.com. That's cdfzone.com. Or call them at 800-717-KIDS. That's 800-717-KIDS.
Over 20 years ago, the first batch of Tito's handmade vodka was distilled in the heart of Austin, Texas. Since then, its roots have stayed put, and its vodka continues to be made on the same land where Tito built his dream. A distillery called Mockingbird that houses a simple vodka with a spirit the size of Texas and as good as the day it was born. Learn more about the Tito's story at titosvodka.com. That's titosvodka.com, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
When your job demands more than just hard work, trust Timberland Pro, the brand that defines superior comfort, performance, and durability. Built on a legacy of craftsmanship, Timberland Pro provides boots and apparel that stand up to the toughest challenges. Our products are as resilient as the skilled men and women who wear them. From the workshop to the job site, Timberland Pro is there with you every step of the way, blending innovation with time-tested quality. Discover why professionals choose Timberland Pro. Always do, never done. Visit timberlandpro.com or your local Timberland Pro dealer.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
Fire from three and knock it down. The all-time freshman scorer in women's basketball history is Juju Watkins as she knocks down the three.
It is a USC Big Ten Friday. Listen all day long to your new home of the Trojans as we celebrate right here.
710 ESPN. The new home of the USC Trojans.
It's official. USC, and Slee, this is going to take me a minute to get used to saying it. And I know it's been coming for a long time, but it is official. USC is a member of the Big Ten Conference. We spoke with Athletic Director Jen Cohen about an hour or so ago. Right now, we're joined by the head coach of the women's basketball team, Lindsay Gottlieb, joining us here on Trav and Slee. Lindsay, thanks for coming on. How you been?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Definitely crazy to say it's a USC Big Ten Friday, but I love it.
It is. It is for sure. And I want to get into that in a second. Lindsay, I'm sure you don't remember this, but Al's heard me tell this story a million times. When you were the head coach at UC Santa Barbara, I had recently changed jobs from the producing side of this business to the hosting side of this business. And you, Mark Masseri, who's the athletic director at Santa Barbara at the time, brought me up to kind of interview you and the men's soccer coach at the time, and you were the very first person that I have ever talked to as a professional broadcaster, and I have a very soft spot in my heart for you because you were very, very good to me when I did not know what I was doing.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I did not know that story. So do I get to take credit for launching your career then?
Well, you have to take responsibility, I think, more than credit because
this is more a negative thing. I'm sorry. I think we are apologizing to you.
Yeah, I think it's irresponsible more than you get credit for. But we were at some Mexican restaurant on State Street in the corner on like a card table. Do you have any recollection of that at all?
Now that you say that, I can kind of picture that's where the radio show was.
So let's talk.
That's so wild.
I know. And I'm just obviously watching you with the Gauchos and then Cal, and now of course we're here at USC. Talk a little bit about, like we just mentioned, the going to the Big Ten, and obviously there are a lot of opportunities there. There are a lot of challenges there. Kind of take us through it. What are the advantages of the Big Ten? What are the challenges of the Big Ten?
Yeah, when I was coming back from the NBA and decided to take this job, there were a lot of people that were like, "Well, why would you go back to college? There's so much change and." The transfer portal and players have autonomy and maybe NIL is coming. And in my mind, I thought, first of all, that should have happened a long time ago, so that didn't scare me. But my thought around change in college athletics, again, I'm a fairly progressive person. I think I can handle change. But I also thought no matter what happens, USC will be in a position of power and strength because of the brand and the school. Now, no one could have predicted we'd be in the Big Ten, least of all me. And I got the call maybe 15 minutes before it went live. But it actually has played out just like you said, where we were the ones to go and kind of create the change versus being reactionary. There's a ton of opportunity here. Of course, it's different. We all mourned the end of the Pac-12 and the great, rivalries and programs there. But when you look at what it's going to provide for us, particularly at this moment of this like tsunami in women's basketball, to now be national and be on national TV, it's far more of an opportunity than anything else.
Lindsay, can you talk a little bit about that, just the evolution of the women's game in college basketball? And like you said, that so many of these games nationally televised. How do you feel about where women's basketball is today from a college perspective, from now where the WNBA is, and where do you think it's going to be over the next 5-10 years?
I mean, what an incredible time, right? And I would say that the revolution is more in the media coverage. Like, someone said, do you think it's where it is because we finally have stars? And with all due respect to the current stars, and they are amazing, we've had stars, right? From Cheryl Miller to Diana Taurasi to Candace Parker. Like, it's not that there haven't been personalities or great players. It's that now we have a platform and we're on TV and social media has helped. But right now is such an incredible moment because it's brought more eyes, and maybe those eyes came because of Caitlin Clark's magnetism, but they're going to stay to see all the other, great things about our game. And I think you're seeing the women in college who are legit, marketable, huge stars now bringing their fan bases to the W, which is growing, the W, which is also a really good product. And so it's a neat place to be. I think that, our particular place right now with the talent that we have on our team, we're going to be on a lot of the major networks and in good time slots. And so we see it as an opportunity to play our small part in growing the overall game as well.
Lindsay Gottlieb, women's basketball coach for the USC Trojans, joining us here on Travis and Slee. How does obviously college sports for the longest period of time was very regional, right? If you grew up on the West Coast, you're a Pac-12 kid. If you grew up in the Midwest, you're a Big Ten guy. In the South, SEC, kind of everybody had their own little region. It's very different now that these conferences stretch across the entire continent, really. Does it change your recruiting? Is all of a sudden, instead of looking, here in Southern California, do you look at kids in Chicago, in North Carolina, in New York City? Does it change that?
I think it does. I feel like the national, nature of women's basketball right now and TV and the opportunities that come from it and the USC brand, I think allow us to go essentially into any household in America and say, is this the best place for you? Could it be the best place for you? I mean, that said, I always believe that California has as much talent as almost anywhere else. And, we're fortunate that some of the best players in the country are here in LA, and we're going to recruit the heck out of LA. But yes, I think that now with playing bicoastally and also being on TV everywhere and having USC on our chest, I do think, our recruiting is very national.
Lindsay Gottlieb, who is the USC women's basketball head coach, joining us here on the Travis and Sliwa Show. Lindsay, just kind of stay on that. SC, obviously, a tremendous season last year, 29-6. How excited are you just for the upcoming year, the competition as well? And it's going to be completely different, right? Playing games against Michigan and Michigan State and Minnesota. I mean, just kind of go down the list. Ohio State. Your thoughts on the upcoming year, and then also just your thoughts on the competition that's out there.
Yeah, I mean, we're very, very excited. I mean, we know that, last year we took a lot of people by surprise. I think, our mantra a little bit was, hey, you didn't pick us before, don't pick us now kind of thing. We're sixth in our own league. But we also know now we're not sneaking up on anybody. There's this big word called expectation. And our one of our goals, this summer has just been to put in so much work and on and off the court that the expectations don't, hinder us at all, that they only launch us forward. We got a lot of talent in this gym. So I'm excited. And most importantly, we have great human beings, and it's been they're fun to be around. They're excited, and we're excited to coach them. And the competition is going to be no joke. I mean, in the non-conference, we've got Notre Dame and UConn and Ole Miss. And if you look at whoever the projected top 5 is going to be, I think we're going to play 3 or 4 of those teams if you include, UCLA in there. And then you add the Big Ten schedule. The first thing is it's all new for us, right? I'm not going back to my scouting report from the last 10 years and say, this coach always does this out of a timeout, or this is what to expect, when we play them on the road. It's all new for us, and it's great competition, but what an opportunity to kind of be re-energized and be the new kids on the block, and they have to come out here and play us too, and I think it's going to be really a fun experience for someone who's been in this game for a long time. You don't get a lot of brand new, and this is brand new.
SC women's basketball coach Lindsay Gottlieb joining us. Of course, you can hear USC right here on 710. Football season kicks off in just a little bit. We got men's and women's basketball right here on 710. What does a player like Juju Watkins do for your program? Obviously, SC, like you mentioned, Lindsay, has a history of incredible talents in the women's basketball program. Cheryl Miller, McGee, there are lots of them. But what can a player of that caliber do to launch the program even after they've gone?
I mean, you're seeing it in real time. I think it can't be stated enough how impactful Juju has been in the renaissance of this program. It doesn't really happen in other sports the way it happens in women's basketball. And what I mean is that for so long, there were 1 or 2 teams, maybe 3, that dominate everything, the airwaves, the conversation, the Final Fours. And so it would take a huge amount of courage for one of the top players to not go to one of those schools, right? Like, you risk a lot. I know it sounds wild because USC is such an incredible place. How is that a risk to come here? But for someone who, could go to one of the established powers, it's a big deal. And that young woman did that, right? Like, she bet on herself, she bet on us. And in doing so, she literally has changed an entire narrative. I was told, for all the great things that USC has, right? It's an incredible school, great facilities, wonderful legacy. We were told you can't get fans here for women's basketball. You can't get fans on a Friday night. And now there's people wrapped around the building, waiting to come in. And we've got, people in Juju jerseys and it's her impact in that way and on the community. I mean, I've been here this whole summer and I don't know if there's a bigger star in LA other than maybe LeBron and Shohei, it's wild. She's in that echelon and she's deserving of it. And I think what's cool is that, the kid is a hooper. Like, she's a great teammate. She's invested in right now, but she also has an understanding that she doesn't want USC to be good for this year and next year and the 2 more years that she's here. She wants to leave a legacy. And I do think little kids growing up will now hopefully see, we have more work to do and we got to win more, but they'll see USC the way little kids, thought of UConn or, thought of, Notre Dame when Skylar was there. Like, I think it's really cool, the impact that she's had, and we're seeing it in real time. And I think it's going to be something that's talked about for years.
How much better can she get? She's number 2 scorer in the nation last year, broke so many different records. Like you just mentioned, putting SC on the map, and I agree with you. It does kind of sound funny to say that, but she didn't go to UConn. She didn't go to one of these other programs. How much better can she get from just being a freshman at USC to what this upcoming season is going to be?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like, I think, she did all that at 18 years old, and it was nuts. It was wild sometimes. But of course she can get better. The number one thing is that she is not a social media star or a star who happens to play basketball. She's a hooper, who cares about her craft and really is a student of the game, who, by the way, also then has garnered this following, which means that she's in the gym a lot, that she's intensely, competitive, that there's not a drill that she does where she's not going hard. And so, of course, there's ways she can improve. I think she would tell you, she wants to have her shooting efficiency be higher. She wants to be better from 3. She's been working a lot on going left. Like, she's she takes any kind of, potential scouting report against her and turns it into a strength. I think, she's helped, obviously, to recruit some incredible transfers to even make our team better. And so she's excited to figure out, how to score more points as a team and win more games. So I think, the great ones always find a way, even if it's nuanced, to get better. There's not some huge gaping hole in her game, but there's always ways that you can get better. And the mentality that she has from the day that she walked in here for her postseason meeting was, okay, how do we take this thing to another level?
Lindsay, last question before I let you go. I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. Should Caitlin Clark have been on the Olympic team?
Oh man, that's a tough one. And I've been on USA committees, and I know the people who are making some of the selections. It's complicated, right? Like, that's the best way to say it. It's really complicated. There's a whole process, and she couldn't go to all the camps, and she couldn't go to all the things. And then all of a sudden, the WNBA season starts, and now we're looking at it as she one of the best 12 players in the W. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not always how teams are constructed and how they're made. You see them on the men's side too. I think that the best thing I'd say is, and I've spent a little time with her, and she's awesome. I think this break and not playing basketball for 2 weeks or whatever it is good for her. I think she's going to be an Olympian. I think we're still going to win gold, and I think going forward she'll probably be one of the faces of it. So I think it'll work out all the which way around. Did I dodge the question? I don't know.
That was a good answer.
That's a good answer.
It was a very good answer. Somebody that's been around the block a few times for sure. Lindsay Gottlieb, the head coach at USC. Lindsay, thanks again for treating me like I actually knew what I was doing when I didn't a million years ago. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and we look forward to having your games here on in 710.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys picking us up on 710. That's really huge for people to hear us on the radio, so appreciate that. And I'm not sure I knew what I was doing my first job at Santa Barbara either, so glad we both made it this far.
So far, so good. Thanks, Lindsay.
Yeah. Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye.
You got it. Yeah, by the way, that's how you know she's been doing it a long time. She handled the Caitlin Clark thing perfectly. It's complicated. There's a lot going on. Yep. Here's this, there's that. Is she a great player?
She's going to be an Olympian.
She's going to be
you know what? She's going to be the face of USA. Oh, I know, by the way, they're going to win gold.
Yeah, and by the way, she's got another Olympian on her team, too, probably by the time the next time comes around.
Really
Factor Cap coming up next is Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Touchdown USA!
The U.S. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans. The new home of the USC Trojans. The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
And let your heart do the guiding. Go to the drive-thru and order one of everything. Feel the buzz of confidence of knowing you are protected with 65 years of insect science in your hands. Raid. Protection for everyone.
Did you know that if you're an employer who's hiring, it's going to cost you an average of $4,700 per hire? If you're investing that much money, you want to get it right. That's why you got to check out ZipRecruiter. Over 3.8 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs, and so should you. Check this out. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. Right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Tired of wasting your money on testosterone booster products that just don't work? We don't blame you. That's why Nugenix Total T lets you try before you buy. Just text HOT to 369-369 to claim your complimentary sample. Why have millions of men already trusted Nugenix for a man-boosting increase in their testosterone levels? Well, nothing else is like it. It contains Tesnor, a key ingredient shown to work. Nugenix Total T boosts free and total testosterone levels to help you feel better at work, in the gym, and and in the bedroom. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand and #1 at GNC and #1 at Walmart. But don't take our word for it. Try before you buy. If it works, keep using it. If not, keep the sample. You've got nothing to lose, but you could gain energy, muscle, drive, even more passion. Text HOT to 369-369. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text HOT to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The biggest show on the radio.
That's Mason in Ireland. Weekdays after Crab and Sleep.
All right, let's go to Abdul. Abdul, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead, Abdul.
Hey, you guys, I love you. Been listening to the show for 15 years, and I just want to say, Mason, you just don't bring it like you used to bring it anymore. And I'm just wondering, did you not drink your coffee this morning, or what's going on, man?
You think I'm not bringing it today?
Today, especially, but just in general. Over the past year, I feel like you just kind of coasted.
Wow, this call is going to rot in his head.
That is absolutely ridiculous, Abdul.
And I'm sure we won't use it for imaging at all. Abdul, what are you doing for the Mandy's next year?
I'm showing up and bringing Mason some coffee and some Energizers.
All right,
Okay, there you go.
Mason needs some coffee. I had 2 quad espressos today. I don't know what else I can do.
Steve Mason and John Ireland. Today at 1 p.m.
Mason in Ireland on 710 ESPN.
And you know what we do each weekday at this time, around 11:30. It is time for Factor Cap. On the Travis and Sliwa Show, presented by the law offices of Joseph S. Normand. Injury attorneys you can trust, just like family, but a la familia.
At Normand Legal, you're not just a number. You're a person. You are part of the family. We care for your well-being. You're the #1 priority.
213-747-2000. Let's do it. Factor Cap right now.
Oh, that's cap. That's so cap, Dad. Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hi, guys.
Aloha.
Aloha.
By the way, it was funny when
Aloha.
When Lindsay Gottlieb was talking. It was funny because it's like that's exactly what I did. You know, I went to a USC women's basketball game on a Friday night.
I remember that.
Because I had kind of low expectations of like how many people would be there, but there was a ton of people there, a ton of young girls, which I think is really cool.
Did you go specifically to see Watkins?
I did it because my friends wanted to go and also to see Juju Watkins.
Yeah.
But it was, you see all these young girls out there seeing themselves, and they have like the Juju Watkins jersey, and they had little pictures that they drew of her, and that's how you change things. And you have to see yourself doing something in order to go
see it to be it.
Yeah, exactly. So, this video surfaced yesterday of LeBron James attending a beach volleyball match, and he was getting into it. He was cheering on the United States women, but also dancing and, apparently embarrassing his daughter Zuri. So you see him doing his little dad dancing, and Zuri is just like covering her eyes, like, "Don't do it, Dad, come on." So no one escapes embarrassing your kids. Travis, Factor Cap.
Fact. It's one of the great pleasures of being a parent. There's all the stuff that every parent, has to deal with, and both the good and the bad. But one of the things that is just pure joy is getting to watch them score, because I believe this. They secretly kind of like it. They secretly kind of like it.
Al?
Fact as well. There's a good video that's out there. This guy, every time he picks up I think it's his daughter or his son or something like that, every time he picks him up, high school, middle school, whatever it is, he'll like turn the music on really loud, and then he'll just get into some dance routine. And every time the kid's like walking up, approaching the car, the kid is just like, "Dad, please stop." It's hilarious, gets a lot of views, and she's smiling too while she's coming to the car. I think it is, and watching LeBron do this yesterday, I saw it. I'm watching it, and I saw it on Twitter, and I'm like, "What's going on?" I didn't see what's happening, and then I saw his daughter like putting her hands up. I'm like, "That's cute."
Yeah. Jorge?
I used to do it to my little brother when he was in junior high.
Yeah.
Same thing, bumping the music and stuff like that. But one day, he's like, "Hey, can you pick me up today?" I'm like, "Sure." What time? 3:30. Picked him up. But I showed up in a Harley with an extra helmet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, man. And I'm like, "Let's put your backpack on the backrest."
That's
sweet.
Cool kid.
And then he felt like he was the coolest.
Dude, he's the guy with the older brother who rides a Harley. Are you kidding me?
So we drove off, and he was just it was cool. That's one of those moments. That's
very cool.
By the way, Léon Marchand just won his 4th Olympic gold he's the top French swimmer in front of his French fans in the 200 individual medley. So he is absolutely
world record
killing it. Did he get the world record?
I think so. I think he was following that yellow line.
I think he also broke the world record in the 200 individual medley. He also has won the 200 breaststroke. He's won the 200 fly. He is absolutely destroying these Olympics at the peak of his power in his home country. What it wouldn't be to be him.
Can I ask a stupid swimming question? Why don't
he apparently just missed the world record and didn't get it.
Why don't they do a flip turn when they're doing the breaststroke?
It's legal.
It's just against the rules?
You can't do it.
Bro. Okay.
You can only do a flip turn on free to free, fly to fly. You can when you go into for backstroke on individual medley, you can touch the wall and you can flip backwards, but it's not technically a flip turn.
Okay.
But yes, you can only do it for free to free, back to back, and then you can do a.
That's the
I
answer.
think it's called a
There's
swivel
rules,
turn.
bro. Against the rules.
Yeah. So yes, it's against the rules. All right. So a video has been surfacing of these people, these two guys, kind of filming a thirst trap at a very popular I think they were actually called watering holes in Austin, like a water well. Like a pool, basically, and they're filming kind of thirst trapping, looking for like the right one, and so they filmed this. But then there's another shot of someone filming this multiple times, as if it wasn't candid. You're getting caught in public filming something. So my statement is, getting caught filming something is embarrassing. Al Factor Cap. Getting caught filming yourself being like, get ready with me, or a selfie, it's embarrassing. Al Factor Cap.
I think Cap. If you don't care, you don't care. If you're already out there filming something, I'm sure you're probably one that's not too worried about everybody else. I mean, I don't know if you ever, and we all have, you're in a public area and somebody's talking to themselves on the phone. They're doing whatever they're doing. I don't think these people would be embarrassed. Technically, if I think I'm doing that, I don't think I'm going to be embarrassed by it as well, so I go Cap.
Trev?
I think it's if you get caught doing it surreptitiously, right? That if you're doing
you're trying to
do it on the down low. Or put it this way, when we're at Rams games, right? And we'll record something for social or whatever, and you're doing it in the middle of a group of people, it's awkward.
Yeah.
It's just because it feels oddly self-indulgent to a certain point. I think it's a little weird, yes.
Jorge?
It is. And we have a friend of ours who calls it the sneaky pick or whatever it is, and he'll send us, and if you get caught, you get caught.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's when you're trying to do it sneaky,
what's
forget
a
about
sneaky pick?
So
like if you were doing something and I wanted to take a picture of you without you catching me, and you catch me taking a picture of you, that's a sneaky pick.
That also sounds like you shouldn't do that.
That's why it's embarrassing if you get caught.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing it. Well, it's not. I don't know if it's jailable, but it's certainly one of those. Factor Cap, of course, is brought to you by the law offices of Joseph S. Normand. You have many choices in a legal team, but family always comes first with Joe. Call 213-747-2000. That, of course, is the law offices of Joseph S. Normand. So if you're involved in an accident, that's the number you call. 213-747-2000. 213-747-2000, or visit normandlegal.com. Oral Hershiser, the Bulldog, joins us next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
I play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, Southern California's premier resort casino experience. Why get yourself stuck in traffic when you could be at the best casino resort in Southern California in less than an hour? World-class resort, exceptional entertainment, dining, spa, and golf, and let's not forget the round-the-clock gaming excitement. 1,100 hotel rooms. They got the suites there. They got the spa there. They got the golf course journey, 20 bars and restaurants, and so much more at Pechanga Resort Casino, one of the largest resort casinos in the country. Was there about a month ago. I could tell you firsthand just how beautiful that property is. Temecula, about 2 minutes off the I-15, just how great that area is, how safe it is, and that's where Pechanga is located. Trust me when I tell you, if you're looking to get away for a couple of days, you got to visit Pechanga.com or call 888-PECHANGA to book a reservation to get all the information that you're looking for. Also follow them on Instagram at Pechanga Casino for up-to-the-minute news and info.
Starting Monday, September 9th, there's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it means the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block begins an hour earlier. Even more live and local LA sports talk on 710 ESPN. The Travis and Sliwa Show will start at 9 a.m. Mason and Ireland move back to noon to 3, and Shinato and Cappy start the LA Afternoon Drive Takeover at 3 p.m. And then at 6 p.m., we are the destination for LA sports. It's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it begins Monday, September 9th.
Coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
USC is officially in the Big Ten. We celebrate all day on your new home of the Trojans.
710 ESPN, KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
It's Travis Rogers, Alan Sliwa.
Day has the same person dropped off food at your house twice in one day. I don't know.
Great question.
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
The Bulldog, World Series MVP, NLCS MVP, Cy Young Award winner, Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. He's got a pretty good resume, but I think if you asked him, or maybe this is better if you ask me, friend of mine, Slee, I've been given permission to call Oral Hershiser a friend of mine. He joins us right now. How you been, Oral?
I'm doing good, Travis.
Are you a friend of Slee's too?
Oral, are you sure?
I think so. I think.
Yeah, I was going
to
say,
you don't want to have the same resume as him, right?
Are you sure that you want to do this with Trav? Because that's all I hear now. It's on his Twitter handle.
I do. We can be strong acquaintances, and Travis can be friends, and then we can go.
We have a business relationship.
Categories.
Yeah, there are other categories. Hey, let's start with this, Oral. The Dodgers obviously are in Oakland this weekend. It's the last time they're going to be in Oakland. They're going to be in Sacramento and then presumably Vegas after that. Obviously, you had a pretty cool moment in that ballpark winning the World Series back in 1988. Is it kind of weird for you, as even though you never played for the A's, to see that ballpark going away, considering you won your World Series there?
Yeah, I mean, the memories are unbelievable. It's more about the faces and accomplishing the goal and being there with your teammates and in the locker room and the celebration. But to think about that as a memorable stadium to me, it's kind of hard because it's probably one of the ugliest stadiums in the world. So when I think about winning the World Series and my teammates, I think about all the faces because there was no distractions as far as beauty of the stadium. One of the more memorable things you guys have talked about today, because I was listening to you on my commute to where I'm at, you guys were talking about Disneyland, and I did the Disney commercial right there from the mound.
That's right.
You don't know you're getting the commercial. So there's a lady that comes up to you in a red hat, and if you get the commercial, she'll tap you on the shoulder, and she'll say it, that camera. And then you go, I'm going to Disneyland. And then you go, say it, that camera. I'm going to Disney World. And you do it, and that's when you find out you got the commercial. And when you guys were talking about Disney earlier, I think all those rides and the corn dog stand are going to be really busy because you guys talked about it too much on the radio.
Yeah, you might be right.
So it's going to ruin your day at Disney.
Yeah, we personally added a lot of business for Disneyland coming up tomorrow and this weekend.
It's going to be packed.
Oral, I know, and we've had the conversation. Last time we had it, it was probably a month ago or so, but just looking at where the Dodgers are right now, 17 games over 500. I don't think anybody – we understand why they had their first below 500 month since 2018. Yep. It's not because they have everybody and they just don't have a good team. They're missing a lot of guys. But at the same time, it is August – what are we, August 2nd now. Just your level of I don't know if you want to call it concern, but just your thoughts on where the Dodgers are sitting today and some of the obstacles that they're going to have to overcome.
Yeah, I listened to the show as you guys were breaking it down with the schedule, with the losing month, with all the things you guys have covered. And, my first reaction as you went into it was probably a good 10 minutes you guys were on it at least. My first reaction is, as a player, don't worry about us. We're fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about us. I'm not going to come on the air and talk negative about our team. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And you have this fighting spirit of, don't talk bad about me. And you also have a fighting spirit about, I want that motivation that people are down on us. Watch this. Because that's the mentality I had as a player and a 17th round draft pick, and 4.5 years in the minors to get there. So, but then listening to you and everything that's in front of them, I started to think like a fan, and I started to say, you know what? We've always complained that we never played meaningful games in August and September, and we've always been up by 20 games, and, we're not going to be ready for the playoffs, and everybody's just rested, but big deal. And then we're going to have to wait around because of the wild card, and then, we finally get to play again, and then we failed a few times in that first round. So isn't it exciting to know we're going to be playing meaningful games? It's real exciting to know we've built some equity as far as the number of games in first place. It's going to be a tough schedule. I heard you guys go over it. It is a ridiculous schedule compared to San Diego's. It is brutal, and it is the dog days of August. And the reason they call it the dog days of August is when the schedule gets long, the days get long, the heat goes up, and the games are meaningful, but they're not meaningful for everybody, but they're going to be meaningful for the Dodgers. And then when you get out of the dog days August, why isn't it like, this is terrible in September? It's, you're coming out of the dog days, and it's because those games are really meaningful. The finish line is within sight, and you get excited about the finish line in the playoffs. So yeah, these dog days are going to be tougher. And this is a roster that is spending some of the equity right now that they built when it was healthy.
Yeah, Oral, Al and I, we didn't get to it, but one of the things that I wanted to get to, and you're the perfect person to ask, is this has been a very different season for them because of all of the injuries, because of a lot of the unknowns in the pitching staff. You're not quite sure what Clayton Kershaw was going to be coming back, Walker Buehler and some others. And Mookie has missed some time. Yamamoto has missed some time. Freddie Freeman currently missing some time. And Max Muncy missed a lot of time so far. But this idea that there's ebb and flows to the season, that there are low points and there are points where, hey, everything's kind of clicking. They really haven't had the point where it's all been clicking and survive August, get to the point where those games you can see the finish line and start to ascend to one of those peaks. Is that just me being a Dodger fan and being optimistic that I hope that that is what happens, or is that a realistic possibility?
I think there's a reason for all of this. I think there's context to looking on the optimistic side. There's context for looking on the negative side. Guys are coming back, yes, and it's going to be sporadic how they come back. Somebody in 2 weeks, somebody in 3 weeks, 2 guys in 4 weeks. All of a sudden, the roster is where you want it. September 1, you got to be on the roster. So it all gets figured out. But you don't know who they're going to be when they come back. You don't know that they're going to be exactly their resume. And so you can look on the negative side there and say, you know what? Wow, this is going to be more than interesting. This might be tough. And then you can say, well, look at all the guys they're getting back, and they're all great, and that roster is going to be unbelievable. And we're just going to, maybe it'll get down to 3.5, but we'll win this thing still by 12. And that's a possibility too. So the interesting thing for me is Arizona has had our attention, or they've been looking at us all year. San Diego, early on, I don't think the first half of the season they were really looking at us. They were like, we're going to be a wild card. This is the first time that San Diego is going to play meaningful games in August and September and have their eye on first place. And that's going to be interesting because that's a team that usually is very hot or very cold, and that usually tells you there's a concentration factor. And I think they're going to be concentrating a lot more. So I think the challenge is bigger than in years past.
Oral Hershiser taking some time to join us here on the Travis and Sliwa Show. Oral, just a little bit of help coming to the Dodgers. Jack Flaherty, I just want to get your thoughts on his addition. And then just to kind of add another piece to that, we've seen Clayton Kershaw now. It's a very, very, very small sample size, but your thoughts on his first 2 starts?
Yeah, I think Clayton is transitioning not only from injury, but transitioning to maybe a slightly different style of pitching. And I think that you've got to give some grace there to more arm side fastballs, to a changeup that's being experimented with, to needing to land the curveball for strikes a little bit more, not being able to just live fastball into a righty and a slider that disappears. And I think, that kind of stuff might come back, but it also might stay as a transition. And so I think I've given him a lot of grace just to let him get through, 4 or 5 starts before we look at it. Kind of like what we saw with Buehler, and then Buehler had to kind of go back down and kind of reboot the computer. So I'm excited about seeing Flaherty pitch. I think that he is coming back from injury and now is fully back, and the stuff is alive and electric again. So he could be a number 1, a number 2. I'm hoping Yamamoto can get back in a month and be as electric as he was when he went on the IL. I'm hoping Walker can find it. And so this is right back to 3 minutes ago in this interview and these questions. It could be amazing. You could have a 5-man deep of aces in your pitching staff, or you might have trying to patch 3 guys together.
Yeah, you could get River, Ryan, and Robleski could be starting playoff games. You have no idea.
Oh, we had Bobby Miller, and Kirsch should have been under the knife, but he took the mound and had the worst outing of his life, and he shouldn't even been on the mound, but he was a trooper, and it was really hard last year injury-wise too. But the thing about, getting the offensive players back will be a godsend, but really shaping up the pitching staff and the bullpen is really what it's going to take, because an offense can rescue bad pitching about once every 5th game, when you get 6 or more runs. But an offense really just needs to get 4 runs consistently if you have a good pitching staff. And that's really where the equation, I think, lies, is getting the pitching back together, where they got starters that are going at least 6, 5, at least 5, for sure 6, and maybe 7. And now the bullpen gets back in order, and they're not making bullpen decisions on what's the workload of our guys and who can I use today. They're actually going for matchups again. And we had that for a while when we were the best bullpen in baseball. Then all of a sudden the starters took the injuries, and now the bullpen had to be used not for matchups, but for just workload use.
Oral, I want to go back to something you said about Walker Buehler going down to reset the computer, the phrase that you used. Did you experience that at some point in your career? Because you obviously were a single ball pitcher. That was the thing that you used to have your great career. But a player like Walker Buehler who's throwing in the high 90s and was an overpowering 4-seam guy, obviously he needs to reconfigure what it is that he's doing. Did you ever have a similar situation where, okay, what has worked doesn't work anymore, I need to come up with plan B?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat if you just watch big league games. There are people getting hit at 80 miles an hour, and there are people getting hit at 100 miles an hour. There are people getting hit with decent movement to good movement, and there are people that are not. It comes down to location and the relationship that you're presenting to the hitter. So I didn't throw a slider or a cutter until after my arm surgery. My curveball wasn't as good after surgery. My sinker wasn't as strong and as deep. And so I had to add some pitches. And I think that's what Clayton's going through. I think that's what Walker's going to go through his transition. I think hopefully Yamamoto at his age doesn't have to. Mm-hmm. But, and Walker ended up with a hip issue too. So not only was he coming back from the second Tommy John, but all of a sudden in a lower half injury that wasn't allowing him to drive and to find out what the velocity really is. So, it might go up 2 miles an hour again. And when you lose velocity, you also are losing spin rate. And so that creates velocity's down, so it's a smaller spray pattern that you can use. And B, spin rate is you're not as much of an optical illusion to the hitter. So it's a big equation, but the fans just want them to come back, be healthy, and get people out.
Oral Hershiser here,
sure,
joining us on the Travis and Sliwa Show. Oral, we spent a little time talking about this yesterday. Another team in the NL, best record in the NL, struggling right now as well. And I'm talking about the Philadelphia Phillies. And Bryce Harper, we're kind of trying to figure out if there's a player like this on the Dodgers, and I'm talking about more from a vocal perspective, and whether it's important or not. But Bryce Harper, the Phillies struggling, was basically saying they're a damn good team. They got really good players, but at the same time, doesn't want to hear any excuses. I think one of the terms he said, they got a cowboy up. He's challenging a lot of his teammates on that roster. How important is that to have a player like that? Again, I'm not talking about the talent of Bryce Harper, but more the voice of Bryce Harper. How important is that to this Dodgers team to have somebody like that? And do you think they do have somebody that can challenge the players and say something everyone will kind of turn and listen?
Well, there's different people you're talking to when you talk to the media, right? You're talking to the fans, you're talking to upper management, you're talking to really just the vibe in the stadium. The Dodgers are very accountable to each other, and there is that moxie, there is that toughness, but they don't really verbalize it into the media, and I think that's just a given for this club. Yet there's nobody that's really over the top where you go, okay, yeah, Joe Kelly is. I think Max Muncy, when playing, is. We saw that with, get it out of the ocean. I think there are, I think Kike at times can be that guy. But you're right. We don't see a lot of, public accountability quotes from Freddie or Mookie or, whoever you want to say it's from Ohtani. But it doesn't mean it's not going on behind the scenes. It's just a place they don't want to do it. And I respect that. I played on some teams that were like that, and then I played on other teams where Kirk Gibson was right there in everybody's face and in the media's face, too. And so, just because that team with Kirk won doesn't mean that you can't do it both ways. And I think that, the voices carry. But I respect Dave Roberts. I respect Andrew Friedman. I respect the leadership in the clubhouse and the way they go about their business and how they hold each other accountable and have that passion. But, yeah, they do kind of have their sleeves rolled up when it comes to showing that.
Oral, real quick before we let you go, and it's kind of going back to where we started. Obviously, Dodgers are in Oakland this weekend for the last time. Oakland, they'll play the next couple of months, and then they're going to go to Sacramento. And at least the plan at the moment is to ultimately wind up in Las Vegas. You live in Las Vegas a good portion of the year. How do you think that's going to go? Obviously, the Knights killed it. The Aces kill it. The Raiders kill it. Will the A's be the next team to kill it?
Well, I hope it's successful in Las Vegas because that's just good for baseball. Yeah. I think it'll be a great bucket list city for fans because you have multiple things to do other than the game at night or during the day. I hope, the market you could start to say gets saturated as far as advertisement and suite sales and tickets because you're adding 81 games or so. But you know what? The population there has grown. The population that moves in can afford tickets to a game and season tickets. It's a lot of 9 out of 10 people moving to Las Vegas are from California. And so they're going to want to follow a California team and they're going to want to follow baseball. The AAA team there is doing very well. So I don't think Major League Baseball would allow the team to go there if it wasn't going to be successful. And they've had to wait a good 15, 20 years for a franchise. But I think they've checked all the boxes now.
There's just nothing to do in Vegas.
My
the only problem, Oral. There's
no entertainment. Now, the way you talked about Disney, I'll talk about Vegas now.
Oral, are you
on your way to Vegas? I'm going to plug my dealerships. On your way to Vegas, you're going to go through Fontana, maybe off to the right.
Rotolo.
You got to go to Capozio Buick. You got to go to Capozio Buick GMC in Victorville. You got to go to Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana.
There you
go. Talk about winning in Oakland and World Championships. Rotolo just won the number one dealership on the whole West Coast. So if you can't buy a car there, then you better please buy a car there because I'm part owner and maybe someday I'll get to retire.
maybe one of these days. Are you doing the games this weekend?
I am. I'm starting. No, not this weekend. I'm not in Oakland. I'm home in L.A.
Okay.
I'm doing some things for the Dodgers. I've actually got a Dodger appearance on Sunday night. I've had an email exchange with Peter O'Malley today, and we're going to try and catch some dinner here this weekend. Things are good. Legends Attic out in Claremont is doing amazing. We're trying to sign some big names like Bo Jackson and Christian Okoye. And Rick Monday and a bunch of people to come out, and maybe even ESPN will come visit us again. That would be awesome.
Don't have to twist
We're
our
ready.
arm, Oral.
We're ready when you
ready
are.
to come. The reason I asked about Oakland was I just wanted to make sure you could soak it all in one last time if, in fact, you were there.
Oh, yeah. Some people texted me and, messaged me and said, you're not doing the games in Oakland. It's the last time the Dodgers are going to be in that stadium. And I go, oh, I know. But, like I said earlier, I'm remembering my buddies and, I can look at the ring every once in a while. And, I talk with Kirk, I talk with Soch, I talk with Hatch, Saxey, everybody. So we're all still connected. So it's a great group.
It's a great group that won a World Series in a very weird ballpark, and weird is probably the nicest thing you could say about the Oakland Coliseum. Thanks, Oral. Always good talking with you. We'll see you soon.
Hey, alumni time coming up at Dodgers. About 50 of us guys are going to be there, so I'm looking forward to that.
What do you guys do when you get together? What do you guys do? You just talk about old times? You talk about families? What do you do?
Well, the Dodger ownership has done an amazing job. They put a guy named Kerry Osborne in charge, and the alumni has really gotten stronger and stronger. The communication coming back. That's why we're having 50, 60 guys come back. And it's not just one day now. It's a whole weekend, and Matt Kemp's being honored. The O'Malley family is being honored and put up in the Ring of Honor for the ownership, and Dad bringing them out here to L.A. from Brooklyn. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to those 3 days. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, they should have Ryan Braun give Matt Kemp that MVP award back. That still bothers me. That's a story. It's a story for another day, but we'll do it. Always a pleasure. We'll see you soon.
All right. Love you guys. Take care.
You got it. Yeah, Matt Kemp should have won the MVP that year. I'm sticking to that. I don't care what anybody says.
I love when some of those just randomly will trigger something that's.
Well, he said Matt Kemp's being honored this weekend. It's Matt Kemp bobblehead night coming up. I think it's when the Dodgers come back here, something like that. And Ryan Braun, you owe Matt Kemp one MVP award. That's fact. That's not cap. That is 100% fact. Talk a little NFL, Sliwa. Talk about that kickoff thing we saw last night. That was weird. Kind of interesting and not even a little exciting yet. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. And why do you guys ding?
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
It is a USC Big Ten Friday right here on your new home of the Trojans, 710 ESPN.
On LA's mega sports station.
I have to say thank you. Yesterday at the Carne Asada, I was the star of my family gathering.
Me? I'm just the butcher at Northgate Gonzalez Market.
You're the one who gave me the best advice for cooking the espaldilla. And the familia, they loved it.
Thank you.
I will never forget. Cook it over medium.
There's nothing like NHL hockey, LA Kings hockey on 710 ESPN. Welcome to the family.
Brand new partnership. We're excited to have the Kings right here, the home of the Los Angeles Kings. And Trav, now I just need an invitation to go catch a game.
You have been giving you one forever. Now you have to
cross the street. Now it's across the street.
Go Kings, go!
Go Kings, go!
The Kings are back on 710 ESPN. Believe it or not, I did pregame for the Kings 25 years ago. Damn, I'm old. Luke Robitaille, the rest of the Kings organization couldn't be more excited. Go Kings, go!
Go Kings, go. Nothing like live hockey. Nothing like seeing it in person. Nothing like watching it on TV. Nothing like listening to it on the radio. And we've got them on ESPN LA. Go Kings, go.
We're so excited. The LA Kings have found a new home right here on 710 ESPN. Can't wait to see you on the ice.
I want to congratulate the LA Kings. You are now on the greatest sports radio station in America, 710. And guess what? Now I get to be one of the ice girls at a Kings game. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go. Go Kings, go.
Normand.
Just as every point matters, every detail counts in our meticulously crafted vehicles. Experience luxury at the top of its game. Welcome to Cadillac of Beverly Hills, the #1 Cadillac dealer in the Western region for the 3rd year in a row. Come and check out the incredible selection of new and pre-owned vehicles today at our showroom, 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills, and at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
Something amazing is happening in business. More companies are turning to Mac. From finance to fulfillment, CDW will seamlessly support Mac integration into your organization. With the power of Apple Silicon, best-in-class security, and compatibility across your favorite apps, your team will have the performance they need and the tools they love. Make amazing happen. Mac and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/Apple.
When your job demands more than just hard work, trust Timberland Pro, the brand that defines superior comfort, performance, and durability. Built on a legacy of craftsmanship, Timberland Pro provides boots and apparel that stand up to the toughest challenges. Our products are as resilient as the skilled men and women who wear them. From the workshop to the job site, Timberland Pro is there with you every step of the way, blending innovation with time-tested quality. Discover why professionals choose Timberland Pro. Always do, never done. Visit timberlandpro.com or your local Timberland Pro dealer.
Team USA is going for the gold in Paris. USA! It's time for a Summer Games medal count update. Thanks to our friends at Islands Restaurants. Islands winning the gold medal for the coldest beer in town. And they're off. With your latest medal count, here is Alan Sliwa.
All right, here's where we are. The United States of America, 9 gold so far, 18 silver, and 15 bronze. 42 total medals. So they are leading every country in the world in total medals. But if we're just talking gold, China with 13, France with 10, Australia with 10, and then the United States comes in at number 9 with Great Britain. So they're 4th right now when it comes just to golds. Couple things going on as well. U.S. Track and Field set a world record in the 4x400 mixed relay. Track begins today. Sha'Carri Richardson will make her Olympic debut today with the 100-meter prelims. As Emily mentioned a little bit earlier, French swimmer Leon Marchand. Yeah, that's definitely French. Won his 4th Olympic gold medal in the 200 individual medley today. And then from a golf perspective, San Diego State action. Xander Schauffele, keep an eye out for him. Obviously, he's won two majors here, the last 2 majors. So
2 of the last 3.
He'll be golfing here shortly as well.
Also something that just happened in swimming, and this kind of is a little heartbreaking. So if you were watching it, and if you watch it tonight on the replay, Caleb Dressel he won gold in, I believe it was the 100-meter fly last Olympics. He was super excited in the semifinal, had a great time for him. Ended up just barely missing the final, so he will not compete in the final for the 100-meter fly, and he's just beside himself because he did so much to get himself back to this Olympics, and he is kind of like this big, it's like Team USA American hero. Like he's trying so hard to get back. You know what he worked through in like mental health and things like that, but it was really difficult for him to see him not make the final. But he still has more events to go in this Olympiks. But my heart goes out to him for all the work he put in to get there. But. It will be I don't know if there's another American in the final, but it might be an American-less 100 fly for the first time in a long time.
All right, so the Islands medal count, of course, it's all presented by Islands. Go for the gold with the coldest beer in town. You're sitting around this weekend, go stop by Island, get that Islands, get that coldest beer in town, and go enjoy the Olympics.
The event that they're running right now, the men's 10,000 meters, is just gross. Like they're basically sprinting for 30 minutes. Jeez. It's just their 10K, right, which is 6.2 miles, I think, and they're running at a clip that any normal person couldn't run for more than maybe 50 meters.
Well, look how
tops.
It's so deceiving because the way they're running, it looks like they're just taking a nice jog. No, these are the fastest, fittest people in the world. And what their jog is me going 33 miles per hour in an e-bike.
They're running under 5-minute miles, okay, and way under 5-minute miles for 6 straight miles, and way under 5-minute miles. It's extraordinary, and I always like this because these guys, and then somehow they run for 25 minutes or so, and then they say, okay, now I'm going to go into 5th gear. It's just bananas. Like I get a kick on 400.
Listen, it truly is like an engine.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, I'm going to put my foot further now on the gas.
Rob Havenstein left practice yesterday. Rams are off today, but when Jonah Jackson was ruled out for a while, Sean McVay described him as week to week, right? Okay. that he may or may not be back for the start of the regular season. Cross your fingers and hope that he is. He has a bruised scapula. Alaric Jackson is out for a while. He's got an ankle injury, and you're like, okay, that's two guys, both on the same side of the line. And then yesterday, Rob Havenstein leaves. And again, he got stepped on is what it looks like, is what happened. So it's not like it's something that's going to keep him out forever and ever. But the most important group, the most important player is the quarterback. I think that goes without saying. But the most important group, and I'm not talking about the Rams. I'm talking about on a football team. All 32 NFL teams, all 110 or whatever college football teams. I don't know how many high school football teams there are. Yeah. Those 5 guys up front are the most important group of any football team. They got 3 starters that are banged up, and we still have 5 weeks to go before the start of the season. That I am officially on I might be worried watch.
Well, listen, this is, and I hate to use this as an example, but it's kind of like every time we talk about the Dodgers, you're looking at, well, how much time left?
Yeah.
What's that window look like? Can by September 1st, do you have most of your guys? By September 15th, are you all set and everybody's back? The good news for the Rams, and you should be concerned anytime there's any type of injury, but specifically this and specifically O-linemen, we could talk as much as we want about Matthew Stafford, how healthy he has to be, everything else. If he doesn't have protection, Matthew Stafford can't be Matthew Stafford. So we got some time here. It's not like the Rams have their first regular season game coming up this Sunday.
Got 5 weeks.
But they do have their first preseason game coming up.
They have their first joint practice coming up this weekend. They're doing a joint practice with the Chargers.
They kind of replace preseason games.
Absolutely.
Going A's on A's.
The joint practices are the only time that the starters will get competitive reps against a different opponent. Right? They don't play in the regular or in the preseason. And then look, this will be Sean McVay's 8th season as the head coach of the Rams. They've had one bad season under Sean McVay. One. You know why? Because the offensive line was a mess. Right? Opening night, guys start literally opening night against the Bills, they start dropping. I want to say, I'm going by memory here, I think they started either 15 or 16 different offensive linemen that season. It's kind of humorous, but they were literally pulling guys out of the police academy to come play the offensive line. It was awful. They just could not stay healthy enough. They went 5-12. They had a quarterback. They had wide receivers. Sean McVay was still there.
Yeah.
Like you can have a lot of.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
It's over.
Do you think they get someone?
What that
not
tells
yet.
you.
Not yet.
What I was going to say, Trev, what that tells you is it really doesn't matter. I mean, even Sean McVay can't save you. Even Matthew Stafford can't save you. Even if a great wide receiving core can't save you. If you don't have time.
You can definitely survive if one of them goes down. Mm-hmm. You're on notice if 2 are down. Okay, you got those backups better be very capable backups. You got 3 of them down.
What's next year look like?
Yeah, I mean, it's just what do you want from me at this point? And thankfully, A.J. Jackson and Havenstein, they seem fairly modest, minor injuries, and they'll be back. But it's just the more time you miss and the more you start stacking those things up, it's not something you can just say, we'll figure. No.
Last year, they got Kevin Dotson before the season started, and he's turned into a core piece of their offensive line, one of the highest-rated offensive linemen in the NFL the last year. So who knows? Maybe they pull a rabbit out of the hat and they get someone who can really bolster their offensive line with all of his injuries.
But their number one free agent acquisition was Jonah Jackson from the Lions. That's the guy they spent the most money on. That's the guy that they went out and pulled off of another team from the Lions that they wanted to build. To your point, Em, they went out and got Kevin Dotson last year kind of as they got Kevin Dotson, whatever. They turned out giving him a whole bunch of money at the end of the year because he's an important part of it. Steve Avila, their future offensive lineman, the future of that group, they moved him to center because he was so good at left guard, played every game. Center's probably was more of his natural spot. And then they got Jackson. Like the middle of that O-line was how they were going to build that thing out. Okay.
Trent Williams is still holding out, right?
Yeah. I don't think the Niners are going to be super happy to send Trent Williams to the Rams. I think that's unlikely.
But what if 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, we see a boom, Adam Schefter bomb that they get somebody who's going to help their offensive line?
Great. I will be the first one clapping my hands.
Depend on, but if it happens,
great.
It happens.
I will not hold my breath. Those guys are running faster than when we started the segment. They're actually increasing in speed. Hot and Cold is coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Touchdown USC!
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
It is a USC Big Ten Friday. Listen all day long to your new home of the Trojans as we celebrate right here.
710 ESPN.
Escape to paradise at Terranea Resort on the breathtaking Palos Verdes Peninsula. Enjoy 102 acres of oceanfront luxury with panoramic Pacific views. Relax in style with a variety of accommodations from elegant guest rooms to private villas. Indulge at diverse dining venues and rejuvenate at the award-winning spa. Visit Terranea.com to book your stay today. Terranea Resort, luxury on the Southern California coast.
Since the pandemic, California home values have skyrocketed. Do you have lots of equity in your home but have been turned down for a home equity line of credit? Try giving the Loan Exchange a call. At the Loan Exchange, we can't guarantee we'll fund you, but we will try our hardest to find a solution for you. Whether your issue is related to your credit score or qualifying your income, our experienced loan technicians will turn over every rock to get you the funds you need to pay off credit card debt, make an investment, or just have a source of cash in case of future emergencies. So if you want a loan company to fight for you, go to theloanexchange.com or call 1-855-752-9944 now. NMLS 1637539. Loan subject to credit approval. See website for licensing information, loan terms and conditions. Equal housing lender. That's 1-855-752-9944 or theloanexchange.com.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Hey, it's Mace. When I was in an accident, my friend Jacob was the first person I called. He should be your first call, too. Call Jacob, 844-24-JACOB, or visit calljacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Here's Brooke Burke for Skechers' new Workout Walker footwear.
Do you know the world's #1 most popular form of exercise? It's walking. And one company has you covered. Skechers, the comfort technology company. With their newest performance walking sneaker, Skechers Workout Walker. Because the Skechers Workout Walker is fully loaded to get the most out of your walk, including a carbon-infused plate in the sole to add more spring to your step. Find Skechers Workout Walker for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
And it is Travis and Sliwa. As you know, we've welcomed the new partner here at 710 ESPN, Next Gen. Next Gen, the official AC, heat, and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans.
You're as cold as ice.
Call 833-3-NEXT-GEN, NEXGEN, or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Time for our feature we do 3 days a week at 12:30 p.m. Who's hot? Who's cold? Thanks to Next Gen. Boy, time for Who's Hot, Who's Cold. Take it away, Producer M.
Thanks.
Aloha. Aloha, M.
Hi.
So what's hot is the multi-box. So Peacock has been doing this for the Olympics, where you have a multi-box where, and this isn't new technology, but it worked really well with Peacock. You can have, I think at least, as I saw, like 4, 5, 6 at a time, and there's a yellow box around whichever one you can hear the sound from. So, you know, if you want to hear the sound of track, but you want to see what's happening in, I don't know, volleyball and handball and whatever, that's how that works. So they're going to introduce this, Peacock will, with English Premier League this fall. Or at least they're going to try it out, at least at first. Which I think is a great idea, because sometimes you want to know, especially that last week of the year where you're trying to figure out who's going to end up winning the Premier League if it's a really close race. It's really cool to see, hey, you know, Manchester City scored here, you know, Tottenham scored here. I think it's really cool if you're watching one game to have many. So should they do this for all sports?
They've had this for a long time in the NFL, right? They've had the DirecTV as a long-time DirecTV customer on their NFL Sunday ticket package. Not only could you get all the games in the red zone and all that stuff, but they had like a Multiview, and it is good for that to kind of keep your eye on a bunch of different things, and you can flip the audio from this game to that game and all that. The problem is, unless you have a giant TV, once you cut it into quarters, you really can't see anything. It's really hard to track, which, like, multiple TVs to me is the best way to kind of do what we're talking about here, because even if you have a ginormous TV, once you've cut it into force or fists, it's hard to track what anything that's going on.
Or I can send you guys all the links.
You got a guy. You got a guy.
I might. Don't joke about that. I need these links.
Oh, man.
I do think Multiview, it's a good idea, and there is a little bit of it's happened before, but I'm just thinking of the way we consume things now, our consumption. So I don't know how you are, but there's a lot of times where I might have something on Netflix. Doesn't mean I'm not also looking at my phone doing stuff, or I have my laptop up while I'm watching something else, and I think it just kind of falls into that category of unfortunately, and I don't think this is a good thing, but this is, I think, where we are. Our attention span is so
it's
limited.
bad, and we are all, I think, multi-screen people. Like whether it's your laptop, TV screen, phone, where we have, but your phone isn't a little box in the corner of the screen, right?
Yeah.
Back in the million years ago when I was a kid, picture-in-picture was, hey, that TV's got picture-in-picture, and then you turn on, you're like, that sucks. Because it was so small. You couldn't see the smaller picture. Like, if you got your phone in your hand, cool, it's 6 inches from my face, but I don't know.
do multi-view on my phone.
Yeah.
I just see something moving.
It doesn't fill
Can I
me
be honest
with
with you? I don't
enthusiasm.
watch anything on my laptop. I don't watch anything on the iPad or my phone. Like, I just don't have. I just don't have I don't have access to,
Yeah, I'm
those
on
accounts,
screens.
like the DirecTV. No, it's not the links.
Okay.
It's just I don't.
It's
my dad's account from DirecTV, so I don't have his login. And
Yeah.
I'll usually, during an NFL season, if I'm not working, or even if I am working, I have like the Red Zone or the Multiview on my computer, and I'll have the game I'm actually putting most of my attention to on the big TV, so I can like look down occasionally and here, or sometimes I'll have the sound on. But I think it's a good way just to have the option for people to do this in multiple different sports. So what's cold is the Big Ten quote unquote map. So I don't know how much Big Ten football you guys typically watch, but it's one of this kind of quote unquote famous thing among college football fans, the Big Ten map. So they'll do it before and after games, and like kind of in breaks at times. Well, they'll kind of go around the Big Ten. You'll crop up, and it's Maryland, and it's like the flag, and then it's Penn State with the Nittany Lion and all that stuff. So they kind of go to the different pockets of where the Big Ten is located. So they unveiled the new Big Ten map with USC, UCLA, and Oregon and Washington. And obviously this map is not geographically sound. They have Oregon and Washington basically neighbors.
Yeah, neighbors.
But it's cute. They have these little things, but it was just a thing that changed. And it's one of those things that you're going to get used to it, but it's the small things that you realize, this is really happening. Also, the SEC losing the CBS
No question.
theme for it, because SEC is going to be on ESPN now. So is it these small things that really change things for us, the viewers?
So I just going to say, and I watched this a little bit earlier, the Maps commercial, about 30 seconds, new Big Ten Conference Maps commercial. It's weird. To me, it's weird. And this is the landscape that we're in. But in the beginning of that clip, where it goes Oregon, Washington, SC, UCLA, okay, nothing's odd there. Then you head to the Midwest, right? And now all of a sudden you got all these other schools popping up. It's going to take some getting accustomed to. And we talked a little bit about this earlier. I was a big fan of – I liked that the Pac-12 represented the West. And there was something about that. This is going to take time for me to get accustomed to, and that's okay. I think it's going to take a lot of time for a lot of people.
And you will. It'll take a little time. And like I think you picked a perfect example, Em. The SEC on CBS theme music. Like when you heard that at 12:30 on a Saturday afternoon, that meant that here comes Vern Lundquist.
The premier game.
The premier game, and Vern Lundquist with Gary Danielson, and then Brad Nessler with Gary Dan. Like it was and here's Alabama, and the shot over the stadium, the dun, 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 like you knew exactly what it was. But that wasn't how it was when I was a kid. Like it changes, and we're
like the NBC theme for the NBA
Round Ball Rock.
Yeah,
Round Ball Rock. Like that's a perfect example too. That these things that you can't imagine ever not having them, they go away, and then the new thing feels like it's been there for 1,000 years. It's weird for sure. I'm with you. It's going to be really weird that SC has a midseason game against Indiana, and it's a conference. You're gonna be like, really? Okay, and then fast forward.
That rivalry is going to be amazing.
5 years from now, it'll be like, yeah, I got Indiana this week. It'll be the same as them playing Cal. It's just a longer flight if you want to go see it, right? I don't think it's really going to change a whole bunch of how we think about these things ultimately. This year, very different. 5 years from now, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Who's hot, who's cold? It's brought to you by NextGen, the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3NEXGEN or visit NextGenAirandPlumbing.com. The Dump, a little super crosstalk coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
This Starting Monday, September 9th, there's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it means the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block begins an hour earlier. Even more live and local LA sports talk on 710 ESPN. The Travis and Sliwa show will start at 9 a.m. Mason and Ireland move back to noon to 3, and Shidano and Cappy start the LA afternoon drive takeover at 3 p.m. And then at 6 p.m., we are the destination for LA sports. It's a new fall lineup on 710 ESPN, and it begins Monday, September 9th.
Hope this keeps you on the field and keep listening. We'll be back soon.
Keep listening for more on the road to recovery right here on 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, John Ireland here. To build a winning team, you have to have the right people doing what they do best. If you're in a position to hire for your business, listen closely, because we have the ultimate teammate, ZipRecruiter. And you can try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Hiring the right candidate is hard. ZipRecruiter uses powerful matching technology to quickly find and send you the most qualified people. So it makes finding and hiring your next superstar much easier. This is why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. So be like the 3.8 million businesses who have come to ZipRecruiter and sped up their hiring process. Try ZipRecruiter today for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. One more time, ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
It's a key ingredient called Tesnor. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. Total T is backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ORDER to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ORDER to 321321. That's ORDER to 321321.
It's time for everything we haven't gotten to today. Yes, it's time for the dump. It's time.
All right, of course, Pachanga. We got our Pachanga pick of the week right here. USA, Puerto Rico, tomorrow morning. I want to say 8 a.m. tip-off. 8 a.m. is going to be the tip-off. I don't need to ask you who you think's going to win because everybody's going to say USA, but I think the only thing to pay attention to is Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards to combine for over 4.5 three-pointers. I'm going to go ahead and go over on that one. LeBron James to score over 14.5 points. I will go under on that one. I think you got some of the other guys that are going to be.
You think he takes a day kind of just off his feet?
Listen, we might be in the second half starts and they're already up by 25, and LeBron's not trying to make it 28.
Yeah.
It just might not matter.
The men's and women's, for that matter, too, they're a lot better than the next best team. Yeah. And until I hear, hey, it's the third quarter and they're down by 7 points, Okay, cool. I'm showing up. But, hey, it's the third quarter. They're up by 29. Yeah, I don't give a damn.
All right, so watch some USA, Puerto Rico tomorrow. Pechanga Pick of the Week, of course, presented by Pechanga Resort Casino. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. Visit pechanga.com for more information.
All right, so let's start with this, Slee. I didn't even know this was true. And when I read it, I'm like, I'm not even entirely sure it was true. It is. No team has ever won the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. Ever. Since they started playing the Super Bowl towards the end of the 1960s until where we are right now, no one has won 3 in a row. You've seen 3 in 4 years. You've seen 4 in 6 years. You've seen some really good runs along the way. But we've never seen 3 Super Bowl champions in a row. Obviously, Kansas City has a chance to do it. You're actually kind of the right person to ask because your favorite team is who's ever playing the Chargers. That will be the Chiefs twice. Do you want to see him do it?
Got a lot of jerseys at home.
Yeah. Do you want to see him make? I want the Rams to win the Super Bowl. If you said to me, okay, the Rams are out. Do you want to see Kansas City do something that's never been done before? I'm kind of intrigued by that.
Okay, so if you told me this was the Patriots and it was back in the day with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, I would have been like, hell no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And typically, I find myself very frequently rooting for the underdog. I don't need to see a team win 3 in a row, whatever the case. Even back in the days when the Bulls were winning, it was, no, I'm good. If Utah got one, whatever happens there. All right. Why is it with the Kansas City Chiefs they still don't bother me? Why don't they still bother me? Why? Like, I feel like a lot of
Andy
teams...
Reid, Pat Mahomes are just likable?
It might be as simple as that.
It might be literally as simple as that, but...
In particular, Andy Reid.
But don't you agree that... And Mahomes for me. Mahomes, I just enjoy watching that dude play football, and I got no problem. While he's slicing and doing everything that he's doing, I got no issues with him.
You know what he's been able to do, too, to his everlasting credit? Because you're right. I think the vast majority of people have a very positive association. He has 2 people in his life that are very close to him that are very unlikable. Mm-hmm. His wife is incredibly polarizing. His brother is incredibly polarizing. His dad has been involved in some stuff that's far from great. But yet none of that sticks to him. That speaks to, I think, to his excellence. Because even if you don't like that team, when you watch them, you go, yeah, when he's throwing the ball with his offhand, when he's doing all that stuff, he's fun. Yes.
And I don't have a problem listening to him in any interviews. Like,
no,
I don't.
He's
But
good
you know
at
what
that.
I'm referring to. The more success a team has, the more people kind of jump. Maybe this has something to do with it as well. I don't know. It's the fact that it's that franchise.
I think okay. That's interesting. What I was going to say, it's that city.
Sure.
If this were in Boston or New York or Chicago or it's
or
one
even
of
LA.
Of course,
any
LA.
Of these big markets.
Course,
San
LA.
Francisco. Like,
yeah.
I think there is something.
That Kansas City is a quaint, charming little Midwestern town. They're polite. You know,
it has a lot to do with that too.
Yeah. The answer is Andy Reid.
I would be down to see them win.
It's Andy Reid, right?
Yeah, especially again, there are things with that team. If they were anywhere else, they're kind of unlikable. They have, issues off the field with a bunch of their players and stuff. It's just like they have stayed above the fray, and it's also maybe it's because like they aren't beating the teams that we care about all the time. Like I also didn't like this Patriots because they were beating the Steelers on the way to the Super Bowl when the Steelers were good. Now,
Patriots had a thing with the Chargers too. That was easy, back in the day.
But Bill Belichick is a deeply unlikable personality. Like his
the Boston piece of it as well.
Of course,
but
Belichick's aura is very unlikable. Tom Brady is a very unlikable person because everything comes up his way. Like he's just nobody roots for the guy that wins every day in everything all the time, never loses. Nobody likes that guy, right? Andy Reid's guy that likes cheeseburgers, wears Hawaiian shirts, his mustache freezes with snot. Like
he eats chicken nuggets in a commercial.
He's a very embraceable guy. And Mahomes has got a goofy voice, and he's always very complimentary of his teammates. He doesn't have the supermodel wife. He's not normal because he's going to win the Super Bowl a billion times, but he's normal-ish.
Also, just to note, we were talking about this event just earlier. Our American, got bronze in the 10,000 meter.
Nice.
Fisher, I believe. I don't know what his first name is. I didn't see it, but Fisher is his last
Derek.
name. He got bronze medal in the 10,000 meter, so he killed it.
10,000 meters. Did you happen to see the time? I would love to know what that is.
It's under 30 for sure. It's like
26
or 28.
Yeah, it could be. It's right there. Show it. 26:43.
I think that's the winner. Got that.
Right. 26:43 to run 6.2 miles.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
25 laps around the track in 26 minutes. Okay? 25 laps around the track in 26 minutes.
I would be done by the time Mason and Ireland and Super Crosstalk on their show with Sedano and Kat.
Well, the turkey trot, right? The 10K turkey trot that, Emily, don't listen to this. I know you hate the turkey trot. But the turkey trot that people do, that's a 10K.
Yeah.
Most people run it. If you run it in an hour, you ran it pretty fast. 26 minutes. Pretty stupid.
That's why they're in the Olympics.
Emily, if I were an IPA guy going to celebrate International Beer Day, what would I sound like?
Yeah, I love it's my favorite day of the year, you know. It's only International Beer Day. It's every day for me because I love my IPAs and I love Mumford & Sons and playing on my ukulele. The ladies dig this.
Do they?
Yeah, I love it. I live in Silver Lake and I really like going to, I don't know, get more Carhartt. Can I get more Carhartt at the flea market? I don't know. I lost the deepness.
You lost the thread there for a second, but
I'm just listing things this man does.
I feel like they'd have more of a arrogant voice. I feel like a more condescending tone towards, like if I wanted to open up a Modelo or a Coors Light, they'd look down their nose at me. They would not be okay with me just having a mass-produced beer.
I did feel like last weekend I was in San Diego, went to Pizza Port. Pizza Port Brewing, they got their beers too. I feel like when I ordered, they have a lager there. I feel like there was a little bit like, hey, look at this guy getting a lager.
What's wrong with that?
I feel like...
As long as it's their lager, you didn't ask for like a Budweiser or something, did you?
I think they're known for their IPAs.
Okay, well, that's fine. Then don't make a lager.
That's their thing.
Yeah.
That there's levels to the game, and I think me getting a lager, people who are beer people, I don't know if they're getting lagers.
They shouldn't make it.
Yeah,
if they want you to drink IPA exclusively, then don't offer me the lager. If it's on the I'm sure it was.
Delicious.
I like a lager.
Lager is great. A light beer is great. They're all beers, and no one should judge it for the other beer except for when you're an IPA guy, because then we know exactly who you are.
At the end of the day, they all do the same thing.
They all play the ukulele.
Well, an IPA, I don't know. I've asked brewers this, and they all look at me like I'm crazy, and maybe I am. There's something that happens in the brewing process of an IPA that gives me amnesia. Like if you said to me, drink 12 Modelos, okay, fine. And you said to me, Trav, I need you to tell me everything that happened during the time you drank 12 Modelos. Yeah, I can. If you said to me, drink 3 IPAs, I could do it. But if I had to recap anything that I had done, I won't remember a single thing.
They are high in alcohol.
I know, but I'm saying if you consumed the same amount of alcohol, not the same amount of beers, the same amount of alcohol, there's an amnesiac, something like that.
Are you allergic to something?
That's what they all say, but I don't know. There's something in it. Speaking of beer, Alexander Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals revealed that the Capitals keep a stocked beer fridge in the coach's office. Where did that go, Emily? You moved it on me. There it is when they come off the ice. So you finish your game. You go into the dressing room in hockey, and you want to have a couple of cold ones. Shouldn't every team have that? I know that back in the day, baseball players used to hang around the clubhouse and suck down beers after the game. Basketball players ever do that?
I feel like baseball was doing everything probably in the middle of a game.
Maybe, but that was part of the culture of baseball. When the game would end, you'd hang out in the clubhouse and you'd have a few beers before you went home.
He also says he can't imagine a player who doesn't drink. He quit. You can take a break from certain time. Basically, he's saying, I don't trust a player who doesn't drink.
Okay, wait. Let's just use this as an example. You're done with a long day of work.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon to go home and crack a beer open, sit on the couch, and kind of enjoy the rest of your...
But what if you didn't go home? What if when you're done with the show, you walked into the bullpen and had a few? Because that's what they're doing.
If there's 11 in there, have one.
Yeah, I think so.
Sometimes you go downstairs and
was that ever a basketball thing where players would hang out and drink beers in the locker room?
No, not that I know of, but they would, like, if they win a series, sometimes I'd be sitting next to Mitch Kupchak or Rob Pelinka, and somebody would call and say, hey, can we put beer or wine on the plane?
Yeah.
But not in the middle of the season. Like, there's no alcohol on the plane unless they make special arrangements.
That's a baseball thing. And, in the clubhouse,
like
I think baseball might have put a rule in that nothing on the plane because it got a little out of hand with people afterwards.
The Wade Boggs?
Well, yeah, the Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs would bring mistresses on the plane. So, I mean, he had a certain...
The urban legend is, which he has kind of confirmed, he drank 72 beers on a flight from Seattle to Boston.
What?
When he was a member of the Red Sox and they flew to play Seattle.
I think the team may have drank 72 beers.
The legend is, and he has not gone out of his way to deny it, that he knocked back 72 beers.
The Rams used to have a lineman named Bill Bain. And apparently he drank a case of beer once on a flight home from New York.
That's
by himself.
24. That's quite a few.
All right,
72, I think, is not possible.
Years ago, there were stories about Andre the Giant and how many beers he would take down. I think this was on Letterman. I'm looking at it right now. He said in one sitting, he had 117 beers.
Yeah.
I believe it.
So Andre the Giant, there's a documentary on Max called Andre. And it's fast. I'm not a wrestling person at all. I don't think I've ever watched a wrestling match.
Don't need to be for this.
It's so good. He would not only drink, he would drink bottles of wine with a dinner. Would drink cases of beers on flights.
Adding that to the list. Andre?
Yes. It's fascinating. He's a fascinating guy, but his consumption was next level for sure. Hey, BC, you know what we should do? A little Super Crosstalk. Bonk.
Jorge quit? KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Woo! Where's Mace? I saw him. He poked his head in.
Yeah, he's around.
He's around.
He's not
he'll come in.
Yeah, he's not normally on time for Crosstalk. But
no, you're the one that usually comes in second.
Well, I'm the one that comes in only if I have to. Like if there's anyone sitting in here, like Yates,
you're crossing
Morales,
your fingers, right?
Yeah, when I turn that corner, if I see anyone other than the four people who are supposed to be in here, I'm out. Yeah, I
like your style
pretty much every time.
I like your style.
But if I see anyone else in here, I take that as an opportunity to beg off.
I completely respect
and
it.
I love a big group. I love being the conductor of a great big band of Crosstalk.
What are you, Count Basie?
Wait,
Ricky Ricardo?
With the sunglasses on, is it because of the?
It's very bright.
The stadium
lighting.
lighting.
No, I have cool new sunglasses.
Let's see
that I really like that I just got.
What'd you pay for them?
$19.
Yeah, that's
nice.
Okay, they're approved.
Like
never spend more than $100 for
I always get my sunglasses. The best sunglasses.
CVS.
CVS has fantastic sunglasses.
Gas
Nobody
station.
will say it but me. Great sunglasses.
Gas station.
CVS. Gas station's good.
Gas station right by the little where you pay the money.
Thing, spin the wheel and see what you get.
You should be doing some live reads for CVS sunglasses.
CVS sunglasses.
Specifically.
Hey, it's Mace. You need sunglasses.
CVS.
You got a CVS in your neighborhood.
You mentioned if you pay more than... I bought one pair of expensive sunglasses in my life, lost them within 3 or 4 weeks, and vowed to never, ever do it again.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah,
Don't spend money on sunglasses.
What's the ceiling? 50?
What?
25?
No, I know. I only wear Ray-Bans, and you can normally find them on sale for about $50-$60. If I don't, I just go without them.
Those are
Ray-Bans are expensive.
I don't think they even have a brand.
I'm looking for the CVS on the inside.
The CVS logo on there. Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. My wife has probably 100 pairs of sunglasses. I don't think very many of them are expensive, but that's her thing.
Is that?
I'm going to count them.
Do all women have a lot of sunglasses?
I don't know if all women do,
Susan
but my
has
wife does.
more than one, but less than 10.
Michelle's probably got 10.
Yeah,
10 pairs of sunglasses.
Yeah, wow. Susan's probably got 4 or 5.
Lisa's line, which is a good one. Whenever I say, "Oh wow, more sunglasses arrived today," and she goes, "Well, they're not all going to make it." And I went, "That's kind of true."
Yeah.
What's the thing that you spend money on?
that I spend money on.
Like not like a big, but like you buy. I don't need, like, Lisa doesn't need 100 pair of sunglasses,
you would
but
think.
she would buy, like, she'll see a pair of sunglasses, go, oh, I like those, I'll get those. The thing you buy even though you don't need it.
Buy it even though I don't need it.
Shoes?
No, because
Clothes?
I've got a couple pairs of shoes.
Okay.
I'm not a big
You're not a
clothes
golfer, so
guy.
I know that's
I'm
not your deal.
Golfer.
I think I got it for you.
Nothing I'm really wasting. What do you have an idea?
I think I do. Because I'm if I'm going to spend somewhere, it's either going to be nice restaurant or travel.
Yeah.
The other stuff, I don't really care about.
You know what? That's a great way to go.
Yeah.
Do you buy?
Life is about the experience.
Do you buy the golf equipment?
Like, I'm not as bad.
Miss a few putts and get a new putter.
No, I'm not as bad on equipment. I hang on to my clubs and my and golf equipment fairly long, but I spend a disproportionate amount of money on golf, on green fees, on, matter of fact, guest fees if I'm entertaining people.
How do I get on that list?
Whenever you want. But nowadays, you probably have to come to Idaho.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean if you're willing to do that,
it's
then
a bit of a haul. I don't know if I'm going to do that.
So I think my waster is Starbucks. Starbucks is my waster.
There you go.
Because like at home, we've got a nice Nespresso machine. I could make myself 2 quad espressos at home.
You never use it? You never make it?
I use it when I have a podcast in the morning. I crank out some espresso for myself. If it's before the show, so like at 8 a.m. if I really need to be up.
Have you discussed with a physician your caffeine intake?
Oh, God, no. I think it's fine.
You come in with 2 giant Starbucks every day.
Correct.
You told me you have 2 quad espressos
Two
before you
quad
do a
espressos
podcast.
every day. That's called jet fuel, man. This is how Ireland's got Sudafed. I got espresso.
Do you
Let's
have trouble
roll.
sleeping at all?
No, none.
Okay.
Yeah, none.
How was Rams camp yesterday?
Rams camp was fun.
Did you hit the sled?
I did not hit the sled.
It was there. He passed on it.
Nobody.
There was no one watching the sled, so it would have been a little covert if we just would have walked up to it and started hitting the sled.
Yeah,
have you ever tried to do it?
I think I did maybe last year.
I suggested 2 things. One, that he do that, in all the football movies where you have the one-on-one drill?
Yes.
That Mace do that with DeMarco.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure would go well for me. Are you kidding me? A professional football player.
DeMarco said as long as Mace was the one being pursued, because then he could just run away.
Yeah, run away!
And then the other thing, tell me you think who would win. I offered to start on the 30.
Okay.
And have Mason start on the 20 and race him to the goal line.
I'll take you.
I could make up 10 yards in 20 yards.
I have a very specific reason for answering.
Right.
I think you fall.
I don't think I fall. I just think I can't run fast because of my right foot.
Oh, from your foot? Well, because you tried to leap over a thing.
Correct. So, 9 screws in a plate I've not run. I really don't run.
I think a 10-yard head start in only a 20-yard race is a I think I'd have trouble running him down
I think you got
from there.
Yeah, I wish my foot was bionic.
Because you're quick.
Or the other thing I would offer you is from the 30.
Yeah.
We both start on the 30.
Yep.
You run forwards, I run backwards, and I think I could beat you.
I don't think you can beat me on that one.
I'd take him in that
one.
Okay.
I'd take
I'm ready for it.
Okay.
I'd take him in that
me
one.
there.
Okay.
I'd take me
Running
there.
backwards at speed is
hard.
Really awkward.
Right, but he's not fast at all.
No, I'm not.
So all I'd have to do would be like jog backwards.
I'm definitely very slow.
I think you're downplaying yourself.
No.
And I think look,
No.
Mace look at the shape Mace is in right now.
Yeah, now that's...
How is the summer shred
The
going?
summer shred
You look lean,
we could figure this out. Like, if I go out to that hallway and run backwards to the other end of the hallway.
Just do the math?
Just time it. You want me to go do it?
Yeah, go do it.
Is there somebody back there that can time
We
me?
always have somebody to time a
Unless
race through the
Fridays.
building.
All right,
Fridays
I'm
only.
gonna
really can go do it
So
for
you're
you.
going to go do it backwards.
and then you go do it forwards.
Okay.
And we'll see who's
All right,
faster.
we'll see. We'll do
Make
the
sure
test.
we get so you don't have to start decelerating before you get to a wall. Like,
Yeah,
go from
please
like the
don't fall.
kitchen
I'll go
to the...
no, how about if I go from the conference room door
To the kitchen.
just past
The
Sam
wall
Pine's
there?
office?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, got it.
All right.
All right.
Couple of time. All right, we'll be right back.
Okay, so Ireland is going on there. You mentioned that summer shred. I worked out 8 of the last 9 days, and I was getting up this morning and ready to go to the gym, and Juan said, "No, you've got to deload," which is apparently something that bodybuilders do all the time, where you work out,
You are at the
and then
stage
you have
right
to deload.
now where your partner is telling you that's enough.
Slow
working
down,
out.
because I'm obsessive. I'm an obsessive guy. Okay, Ireland just did it. We'll wait for a time.
I think he's
But
gonna go
I
this
get
way.
obsessed, and then I have to do it all. So right now I'm obsessed with the good thing, but obsessed.
Are you shocked with the way you've kind of handle this?
I am. I never thought it would last, and I'm now in
Is
my...
it easy now?
Do you have
It is easy.
Do you have
It
an
is
impetus?
easy.
Like what was that? Because it's funny you say that this is the most disciplined that you've been,
Yes.
right? For me, the last, I guess we're into month 8, August,
of
right?
walking,
I started at the beginning of the year. I did the same thing that 90% of people do. This year I'm going to be more committed to exercise and all this other stuff. For whatever
Ireland just running backwards down the hall.
if you can't beat that, Mace, you're in big trouble.
I mean, he's backward skipping.
You're going to be able to.
Yeah.
Was there some, and I don't know why
there
it
was.
stuck. I don't know why I decided that this was the time I was going to do, but this is by far the most committed I've been to. And not that I'm climbing
good.
mountains, but I move every day.
No, you're climbing some mountains.
Well,
Yeah,
hills.
hills.
We'll call them
Climbing
hills.
hills.
We'll call them hills.
So
What is it?
I would say, my dad died at 74.
Okay.
And he died in a fall. And he was a very frail guy at 74. So I decided that's not the way I'm going to go out. I am going to build myself so I'm sturdy, so I don't have a fall when I get old. That's why it is.
Okay.
And it's
the right
it's
reason.
worked.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
That's the real reason. But I mean, seriously. Yeah. I mean,
I'm surprised you wear a shirt when you come in.
I know. I am too.
Thought,
I am too.
Basketball, a lot of times it's shirts and skins. I
That's
thought
right.
you and Ireland would say, "Hey, I'll go skins."
I'll do skins.
Yeah.
Ireland
Ireland's
still-
here's the problem
He's
with what
gone
he's
9
doing.
times now.
He's gone a few times, but he's laughing the entire time he's doing it. I don't know if
just
he's
not
going to reach his
how
top speed if
committed
he's
he is.
laughing the entire
he's
time.
really serious. Now he's going to run it for
Okay.
real.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. He had some nice acceleration.
That
there.
was
why did he
pretty
do
good
that?
speed. I don't
I
know.
thought he was
See,
just
I'm
going
going to
backwards.
get down like
Oh, you're going to get a 3-point stance?
Noah Lyles right here.
No, we should get some blocks
Yeah,
for
we
you,
need
Mace.
blocks,
We
yeah.
need like starting
But
blocks.
we're just about. I think Sha'Carri Richardson's running.
She ran this morning
Did
in
she
her
run
heat,
already?
and
Yeah.
she won her heat.
Okay, she
so
won her
she
heat.
is through to
Yeah.
the next round.
All right, so give us some time.
I'm
She ran it
confused
forward, she ran
what
it
you were
backwards.
doing.
I got a lot of info.
You
for
ran
it.
30 laps.
No, I ran backwards twice, so you get 2 runs at it.
Okay.
And then I ran forwards
Just to see?
Just to
just
see.
to see how fast I could go. My fastest backwards time was 9.7.
9.7.
My forward time was 5.6.
Wow. Ooh.
So,
And you're
So it's
starting
about
from
60%.
you put your hand on the conference room door, and you run to the glass wall near Sam
So you
Klein's
can
office.
you can just go through
I
it.
think you can beat 9 seconds.
Go for
I
it.
hope so. Okay.
Go for
Okay.
it.
All right.
You're breathing pretty good.
Are you doing
Well, I ran
skins?
3 times.
No, I know.
Skins or shirts?
I'm going to do
But
shirts.
Okay.
How was the backwards? Like, were
here's
you?
the one thing.
Was there a fear of falling,
Not falling, but
Hitting
not
the-
running straight.
hitting something?
Yeah. So we'll see. I think he's going to get me.
When I was watching you run backwards, you had this giant grin
Smile
on
on
your
your face.
face
Oh,
the
well,
entire
because I was
time.
just trying not to fall. But he might fall.
What if he gets injured?
What-
What if this is Mason's
he might fall.
injury?
He falls every time we try something like
He's
this.
held liable.
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
know.
John's fault, basically.
Yeah, because I keep challenging him to stuff. Like
You have the
now.
most money. Let him come back
Yeah,
to you.
John is the one. And there's a no, that's in the hallway. I was thinking this. They're not a slight decline. It's pretty flat.
No, it's pretty
flat.
flat.
Okay. All right.
Oh, he easily
he's
beat
going
me.
to smoke you.
Yeah, he easily.
He
beat
might.
me.
It might be
He was
close
moving-
to your.
He was moving pretty good.
Yeah.
You might be close to your forward time.
Yeah.
He does not need his second attempt. That
Yeah,
was.
here's what we got.
Yeah, we'll see.
He beat me straight up.
5-5.
5-5.
He beat me straight up.
You'd already run backwards twice, so we're going
Yeah.
to factor fatigue in by a small amount.
Right. But
Mace is at the best shape of
He
his
moved
life
pretty
right
good.
now.
this summer shred thing might be real. Yeah.
He looks better.
Yeah.
He does.
I
He
haven't-
looks noticeably
Yeah.
different.
This
You smoked him.
This summer shred thing might be real. I've never seen you move that well.
Yeah. I'm
Dare
5'5"?
dare I say that didn't even look weird?
Yeah.
You, you were
moving
cruising.
around.
Yeah, like you were running on your toes and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I had
So
fun.
this summer shred may have changed things.
John, you're going to get in the Summer Shred 2025?
Come on, next summer, John.
No way.
Next summer, the shred.
John's
Hit it.
already in good shape.
No way. But
He's got golf muscles.
got
exactly.
golf muscles, yeah.
That's
all you
all
need.
I
all he
need.
needs.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
5'5".
Yeah, it was a good time.
You're not breathing.
It's not that bad.
No, that's got to feel pretty good.
It
Yeah,
does.
the one
It feels
time
real.
Yeah.
It's a good way to start the
Yeah.
I
weekend.
raced Marcellus once, and I had him, and he did.
How
this,
long of a race?
Just this hallway.
Okay.
Well, we just did. But we raced at the same time, and I said,
Did you and Marcellus fit down the hallway simultaneously?
That's the story.
That's the story.
That's the story. So I jumped out basically on adrenaline. I jumped out and I had him running right down the thing, and because he told me he hadn't run or worked out in like 3 months, and I go, I could beat you, and I'm like 15 years older than him. and I had him, and he chicken winged me.
Oh, he got you.
He like got even with me, and then it was such a pro NFL move,
swim move,
and
swim move.
And once he did that, I was done. I couldn't catch him.
Yeah. I love that Wiley swim moved you in the middle of the hallway.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I love
Mace,
it. Mace, I'm proud of you. That was
I'm
good.
waiting for you to take out like all your supplements and everything else, and just
are you
taking
a lot
I'm
of
taking
supplements?
branched chain amino acids, BCAAs.
Are you taking
we in the bodybuilding
Are you
business
taking creatine or anything?
I am not taking creatine.
What about testosterone?
Are you weighted up right
no
now?
No testosterone, no steroids, just BCAAs, and no creatine, because creatine, apparently you have to drink tons and tons and tons of water. And I'm not up for drinking that much water. But, those are the only stuff. The BCAAs.
This guy can hit one out of Dodger Stadium.
Let's go.
Have you ever taken testosterone?
No, I've never have. Have you?
No, I haven't, but I'm intrigued.
Really?
Yeah.
There's nothing... it's not bad for you, apparently.
No, apparently there's quite a good few side effects.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there are bad side effects, yeah.
There are, but there's also your energy, muscle building, all that kind of stuff, your
right.
virility, all of those wonderful things.
Yeah.
The day Mace outsprints John
Oh, that's
Ireland.
the first thing I've ever beaten Ireland in physically.
What's the rematch, Ireland?
Oh, I don't know. Anything you want.
Physically, Ireland is on a losing streak right now.
The one thing that I thought he would be better at that we did was that swim with Mike thing.
Yeah. Tell you what, right now, you
ready to get back in the pool?
You want to go back in the pool?
You at the pool. You give me 2 weeks to get ready for it. I'm in.
Done.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever
Do you swim a lot, John?
Enough.
Okay.
Have we ever arm wrestled? That's a good question. Have we ever arm wrestled?
Is arm wrestling a sport? Is anything you can drink a sport? Like if you can.
It's a game.
So is pool a sport?
No, it's a game.
No, it's a game. That's a game.
Yes, that's not really a sport.
A game or a skill.
Yeah.
No,
darts, bowling,
golf is some combination of sport and
It's
skill.
in the middle. It's a tweener.
Yeah.
It's a
You
tweener.
can drink while you golf.
Bowling's a game.
Yes, you can.
Many people do.
Yes, you can. Super Crosstalks brought to you by In-N-Out. In-N-Out, that's what a hamburger's all about.